The Priestess's time travel. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 401 Summoner World 9. Seeing that Niangniang was about to make a move, Su Qingni released her own summon beast, the Snow Fox. Although the Snow Fox evolved later than the other two, it was the first to complete its evolution. It was because the blood that the other two had to digest was too advanced, and it took more time to melt. Niangniang and Zishruohun saw the snow-white little fox and couldn't help but laugh. But a 4-star Snow Fox still wants to be my opponent. Niangniang was very disdainful of the Snow Fox and its owner. Zishruohun saw the beautiful appearance of the little fox and liked it at once. He said to Niangniang, "Don't hurt the fur of this fox. I will use this fur to make clothes." "Okay." Niangniang agreed doubtingly. The Snow Fox sneered and opened its mouth to speak. "Use my fur to make clothes? Don't you think you have the life to do it?" Niangniang and Zishruohun were shocked. The Snow Fox actually spoke! Exclamation mark. The summoned beasts that can speak human language are all above the saint level. This summoned beast that looks only 4 stars is actually the saint level? Impossible? Zishruohun looked at Su Qingni, murderous intent boiling in her eyes. She understood that Su did not come to Xianfeng City to compete for the auditor's place. He was also qualified to become a formal student of Xianfeng College. Damn it, God actually favored me. Why would he favor Su? Should he stay where he is and look up to me after being broken off by me? How can he be on par with me? No, I can't let Su come forward, otherwise others will laugh at her. Even if other people in the Ziche family know that Su entered Xianfeng College, they will regret it and complain about themselves. Zishruohun shouted, "Xingyuan, he is only a saint, but you are a divine beast. You can kill them both with one move." Xingyuan heard Zishruohun's urging, and his aura steamed, and the aura of a divine beast soared into the sky. Su Qingni avoided trouble and made everyone in the inn fall into deep sleep, so that they could not feel the momentum of the beast. But there were many masters in Xianfeng City, and they immediately moved far away, and they also felt this unusually powerful momentum. In Xianfeng College, the dean looked out of the window in shock, muttering in his mouth, unable to judge, this momentum. Is it a saint level or a god level? It's a god level. A voice suddenly sounded behind him. The dean turned around suddenly and saw a man who looked only about 30 years old appeared in his room. The man looked young, but his eyes were very deep, and his wisdom was full of traces of time. "Hello, Your Excellency." The dean hurriedly saluted the man. This man is the biggest confidence of Xianfeng College, the saint-level summoner Zhu Xiang. Zhu Xiang waved his hand, walked to the window, and also looked in a certain direction, and said, "A divine beast appeared in Xianfeng City. I'm afraid this continent will not be peaceful." As soon as the voice fell, another powerful momentum rose to the sky, which made the two people by the window even more shocked and speechless. After a long time, Zhu Xiang sighed and said, "Xianfeng College is only a place to teach talents. Don't interfere in other matters. Do you understand?" The dean replied respectfully, "I understand." Zhu Xiang looked into the distance, feeling horrified and envious. It would be great if he could also summon a divine beast. Although the holy level summoned beast is powerful, it is not as good as the divine beast. Alice, I don't know which two lucky people actually summoned the divine beast. I'm afraid the sky of the continent is about to change. The camera turns back to Su Qingni's side. When Niangniang burst out with the momentum of a divine beast, he felt that he could suppress the little snow fox with just his pressure. However, he did not expect that the little snow fox suddenly burst out with a momentum that was not inferior to Niangniang. Its one tail turned into 9. 9 tails? What is this operation? Are there foxes with 9 tails? Just when Niangniang and Zishruohun were so shocked that their eyes were about to fall out, the little fox had a new change. It turned into a human? Exclamation mark. Divine beast. Zishruohun couldn't believe what he saw. He fell into an inexplicable madness. "No, it's impossible. How can you own a divine beast? I should be the only one who has a divine beast. Only I will be blessed by God." You can't. Zishruohun screamed, "Niangniang, hurry up, kill the fox quickly." Niangniang also wanted to kill the little fox without Zishruohun saying. After he was injured, He used the summoning beast contract to escape from the enemy's pursuit and fled to the summoner continent. He was afraid that his enemies would find out about his whereabouts and chase him. He mistook the little fox as a spy sent by the enemy to track him down, so he was naturally full of murderous intent towards the little fox. He absolutely could not let the little fox return to the summoning beast continent. Xingyuan launched a fierce attack on the little fox, looking for ruthlessness, wanting to kill the little fox. The little fox was agile and easily avoided Xingyuan's attack, and smiled seductively at Xingyuan. Xingyuan was caught off guard and was deceived by the little fox, and the force of his attack immediately decreased. The little fox seized the opportunity and kicked Xingyuan in the stomach, kicking him away. Zicharuohan screamed, "Xingyuan!" Xingyuan was awakened by Zicharuohan's cry. His expression twisted, and was about to launch a powerful and fatal move against the little fox, but the little fox seduced him again, and then he was kicked away by the little fox again. Xingyuan was kicked around by the little fox like a football. Zicharuohan kept calling Xingyuan's name, but there was nothing she could do. She was going crazy. Su Qingni walked up to Zicharuohan and slapped her on the face, slapping one side of her face. Su Qingni was going to slap Zicharuohan on the other side of her face. Zicharuohan wanted to dodge, but she couldn't. In addition to summoning summoned beasts to fight, summoners also have powerful military power. As for Zicharuohan, her summoner level was completely based on summoning the beast Xingyuan, and Xingyuan's power helped her to improve her summoner level. But she herself had not practiced much, and she had power but didn't know how to use it. She was a waste. In the past, she relied on having a beast to crush other summoners and summon beasts, and she would win without her having to do anything. Now her beast was being dragged by another beast, and she herself had no strength, so how could she resist Su Qingni? The other side of her face was also swollen. Su Qingni slapped more than 10 times in a row, and Zicharuohan was slapped into a pig's head. Su Qingni then withdrew her hand with a lingering feeling, and said coldly to Zicharuohan, "I won't kill you this time, but if you dare to attack the Wanqi family again, I won't let you off so easily. I won't kill you, but I will destroy your face, break your legs and feet, cut off your tongue, and throw you among the beggars." Chapter 402 Summoner World 10. Zicharuohan was frightened and had no intention of resisting. She nodded hurriedly. Su Qingni called back the little fox and asked Xingyuan, who was kicked dizzy, to take Zicharuohan away. Before the two left, Su Qingni said, "I don't like trouble, and I won't ask for trouble. As long as you don't come to provoke me in the future, I won't bother with you. Do you understand?" Xingyuan understood that this person meant that she would not let her summoned beast leak his information. Xingyuan glanced at Su Qingni. Although he wanted to kill this person, he would never forget the humiliation this person brought to him and Zicharuohan. But the beast around this person was very powerful, and he was injured again. He could not exert 70% of his full strength, so he could only endure it. When his strength was fully restored, Xingyuan snorted, indicating that he understood, and then turned into a flash of lightning, holding Zicharuohan and disappeared. The little fox returned to Su Qingni's side. She had just evolved, and Su Qingni asked her to come out to fight. It was the first time Su Qingni saw the little fox turn into a human. It is just a divine beast evolved from Su Daji's bloodline. The little fox is so beautiful after becoming a human. Her facial features are very delicate, and her eyes and eyebrows are always raised, with an indescribable charm, but her temperament is pure and incomparable. Such a contradictory beauty is definitely the favorite of men. In Xingyuan's eyes, only Zicharuohan will not be completely confused by the little fox. Su Qingni thought, for the sake of the men in this world, it is better to recruit less little foxes to fight in the future, or let the little foxes remain in beast form. Su, look, I can become a human. Do you think I look good? The little fox ran happily to Su Qingni and turned around. The summoned beast and the summoner are not in a master-servant relationship, but a battle partner, so the summoned beast will not call the summoner master, but call them by their names. Looks good. Su Qingni nodded in appreciation. The little fox smiled happily. Su Qingni thought of a question. She didn't know the little fox's name yet, so she asked, "Do you have a name? Or do you want me to give you one?" Some summoned beasts don't have names before they are summoned by the summoner, especially those below 5 stars. Their intelligence is relatively low, so it's normal that they don't have names for themselves. The little fox, however, had a name early on, which was given to her by her parents. My name is Zui, Zio Su. You can call me by my full name, or you can call me Zai. And Zu. A picture popped up in Su Qingni's mind. A beautiful middle-aged woman slapped a wooden door, muttering in her mouth, "Open the door, open the door, open the door. Don't hide in sight and keep silent, I know you are at home. You have the ability to steal a man, why don't you have the ability to open the door? Open the door." Su Qingni sweated. "I'll call you Xiaoxu." Su Qingni said quickly. "Xiao can't be called either, because it sounds like auntie. Doesn't this let the little fox take advantage?" "Okay." The little fox agreed happily. "Xiaoxu. Now that the battle is over, are you going back to the summoning beast continent or the summoning space?" Su Qingni asked Zui. Since they had already turned into human forms, Su Qingni treated them as human beings and respected their opinions. Zui shook her head. "No, I don't want to go back. I want to play with you." "Then you can only turn into your original form," Su Qingni said. "Why?" Zui didn't understand. Su Qingni smiled, "Because Xiaoxu is so beautiful." Zui blinked her eyes, thought for a while and finally figured it out, nodded and said, "Okay, then I will turn into my original form." She didn't want to cause trouble for herself. She came to the summoner continent to play, not to fight. Zui turned back to her original form in a bang, jumped to the top of Su Qingni's head, and lay on it without moving. Su Qingni grabbed a little fox from the top of her head and put it on one shoulder, and took the little fox back to the room. Su Qingni quietly returned to the bed and lay down next to Wan Qichen. The little fox nestled in the corner of the bed, and the man and the beast fell asleep. The next day, Wan Qichen woke up and saw his son sleeping soundly. He considerately did not wake Su Qingni up and walked out of the room with 2 guards. The people in the other 4 rooms of the Wan Qi family got up and followed Wan Qichen to the lobby downstairs to have breakfast. However, the atmosphere in the inn was weird today. It was time for breakfast and the lobby should have been crowded. However, there were only 2 or 3 people in the lobby, all of whom were the waiters of the inn. They all stood at the door of the inn and looked outside. Everyone in the Wan Qi family was confused. What happened? Where did the other guests go? What was the waiter looking at? A guard of the Wan Qi family stepped forward, patted one of the waiters on the shoulder, and asked, "Brother Zaire, what are you looking at?" The second brother must have experienced this kind of thing many times. He turned around and quickly explained the whole thing. "It is said that 2 God-level summoned beasts appeared in Xianfeng City at midnight yesterday. Early this morning, the masters in the city appeared to look for the whereabouts of the God-level summoned beasts. All the other guests in the inn went to the streets to inquire about the news and find the traces of the beasts. Guests, are you going?" The guard looked at Wan Qichen, and Wan Qichen shook his head. The top-level powerful existence of the beast is not even owned by the saint-level summoner. The Wan Qi family is just a mid-level family, and the strongest person in the family is only an emperor-level summoner. He does not have the strength to covet a god-level summoned beast, so it is better not to join in the fun. "Waiter, give us some breakfast." Wan Qichen opened his mouth and ordered the waiter. The waiter agreed and hurried to the kitchen to serve breakfast to the guests. Fortunately, breakfast was already prepared. Soon, 5 large bowls of porridge, 5 baskets of steamed buns, and several dishes were served on the table. The Wan Qi family sat together to eat breakfast. Although they were not going to look for the divine beast, they were still very concerned about this matter. Especially a few young people, they were itching to see the divine beast. One of the young people said, "Is there really a divine beast in Xianfeng City? It can't be a rumor, right?" The waiter interrupted, "It's true. The dean of Xianfeng College has come forward to confirm the news." Now, the eyes of the young people in the Wan Qi family were all focused on Wan Qichen. Wan Qichen swallowed the food in his mouth and said lightly, "Go if you want to, just don't cause trouble." "Yes," the teenagers answered happily. Wan Qichen looked at his son who came down from upstairs. "It's mainly you. You will sign up soon. Don't cause trouble during this period." Su Qingni yawned and said lazily, "I didn't think about seeing any divine beast." The divine beast was on her shoulder. Chapter 403 Summoner World Zai. Xianfeng City became more lively. Many forces who heard the news of the appearance of the divine beast rushed to Xianfeng City as soon as possible to look for the news of the divine beast in the city. According to the news, there should be 2 divine beasts fighting that night, and one of them might be injured. The forces expected that the divine beasts would be defeated, but seriously injured, so that they might be able to capture both divine beasts and then find ways to make the divine beasts become the summoned beasts of their families. These people had beautiful thoughts, but the reality made them very confused. You know, the divine beasts can turn into humans. If the human-shaped divine beasts walk in front of them, can they recognize that it is a divine beast? Of course, some people also thought that the divine beasts can turn into human forms. However, they thought that the divine beasts were injured, so they went to look for the injured people. As a result, they offended many people, but the divine beasts were still not found. And the divine beasts they were looking for, one was nestling in the room to accompany the beloved girl to take care of his face, the other was wearing the appearance of a 4-star summoned beast and wandering outside with his master, and no one recognized that it was a divine beast. A few days later, Xianfang College officially enrolled students. Wang Qichen took Su Qingni to the academy to sign up for the test. At the age of 15, Su Qingni became a Zhuan-level summoner and met the academy's enrollment qualifications. Su Qingni successfully enrolled and became a student of Xianfang Academy. Su Qingni followed Wang Qichen and accompanied several other young people from the Wanqi family to take the auditing examination. On the way to Xianfang City, Wang Qichen had taught the modified exercises to several young people. After the young people changed their exercises, their strength improved a lot. In this exam, a young man passed the level by chance and became an auditing student. Wang Qichen was very happy. This year, the Wanqi family has 2 students from Xianfang Academy. If other families tell others, won't they envy the Wanqi family to death? Moreover, he believed that after practicing the exercises, when the next Xianfang Academy enrolls, his family will definitely send more young people to Xianfang Academy. The academy enrollment was completed, and a grand event ended. Everyone still didn't find the beast and had to leave Xianfang City. Everyone thought the beast had left Xianfang City. The academy is very large, so the accommodation conditions for students are very good. Everyone has a separate suite for accommodation and practice. The suite has a bedroom, a practice room and a living room, with an area of at least 200 square meters. If you pay more for accommodation, you can also move to an independent courtyard. The configuration in the courtyard will only be better. Su Qingni is not short of money. During the few days in Xianfang City, she went to shops selling weapons and armor, sold her improved weapons and armor, and exchanged for a large sum of money. Therefore, Su Qingni chose an independent courtyard to live in. The academy does not force students to attend classes. It only examines the student's strength every school year and determines the student's grades based on comprehensive scores. Students can arrange their own time freely. They can go to class when they want to go to class, and practice in the practice room when they want to practice. It is very free. Su Qingni spends most of her time reading books in the academy's library. The books in the academy's library are the most complete in the entire continent. Su Qingni understands this world better through these books, and analyzes the news of the extremely yin land from the information in the books. However, it is not easy to find the extremely yin land. Su Qingni was a little worried that the extreme yin land was on the summoning beast continent. That would be troublesome. Then she would have to find a way to go to the summoning beast continent. The rest of the time, Su Qingni practiced in her own small courtyard. With the powerful power of the Yuan Xin and the improved exercises, Su Qingni only took 3 months to practice to become the strongest in this world, the peak of the saint-level summoner. The last step, Su Qingni did not take. Because this world cannot accommodate too much powerful power, the reason why the god-level summoner in this world is a legend is not that no one has reached this level, but that after reaching this level, they can no longer stay in this world and will be teleported to another higher level plane. As for the divine beasts, they will also be teleported away after exceeding a certain strength. Therefore, Su Qingni interrupted the continued plan of the lightning eagle and the flame tiger, so that they would not be teleported away after completely integrating the power in the blood. Su Qingni sealed the remaining power in the blood in the bodies of the 2 beasts for 100 years. After 100 years, they can continue to fuse and evolve after unsealing. The lightning eagle and the flame tiger also turned into human form. The name of the lightning sculpture is Lightning, and the human form is a young boy of 12 or 13 years old. The name of the flame tiger is Mingai, a tall and handsome young man. Su Qingni did not restrain them and let them go out to play. With these 2, Zhu Ai also turned into human form. The three formed a mercenary team and left Xianfeng City to do tasks and make money. Su Qingni would not take the money they earned, and gave it all to them for their own use. Su Qingni summoned several more summoned beasts as her realm improved. She still chose summoned beasts of about 4 stars. Su Qingni fed each of them with the blood of the demons in the prehistoric world. This time, Su Qingni did not dare to feed the summoned beasts with the blood of the demons with the top bloodlines in the prehistoric world, so as not to interrupt their evolution in the middle. Now, these summoned beasts are sleeping and evolving in the middle of Su Qingni's summoning. When they are finished evolving, Su Qingni will throw them to Zhu Ai and Mingai, and let the three take them as mercenaries. During the time in the academy, Su Qingni met Ziche Ruhan several times. After all, they were freshmen of the same class and had many opportunities to meet. Every time they met, the two treated each other as heir and strangers, and kept their distance from each other. It was not that Ziche Ruhan did not want to kill Su Qingni to vent her hatred, but she did not have the power to kill Su Qingni now, so she could only hold her hatred in her heart. Although the incident at the inn cut off many of Ziche Ruhan's peach blossoms, Ziche Ruhan still attracted many boys with her beauty and inexplicable aura charm. Ziche Ruhan thought about using those people to deal with Su Qingni, but Xingyuan stopped her. Just because Su Qingni had a god-level summon beast, other boys were no match for Su Qingni. And Su Qingni would definitely guess that those boys were looking for trouble with her because of Ziche Ruhan. If they came to look for trouble with Ziche Ruhan, she might not be able to protect Ziche Ruhan. Ziche Ruhan was so angry that she could only vent her resentment and anger on other people. According to what Su Qingni heard, Ziche Ruhan had conflicts with several girls in the academy, and those girls' fiancés and admirers were snatched away by Ziche Ruhan. As a result, these girls often made trouble for Ziche Ruhan, but they were always the ones who got slapped in the face. Chapter 404 Summoner World Zai. When Su Qingni met Chu Shuling, the girl wanted to commit suicide in despair, but was stopped by Su Qingni. Chu Shuling was one of the girls who didn't get along with Ziche Ruhan. Compared with other girls, Chu Shuling was straightforward and would not use secret means to deal with Ziche Ruhan. She would confront Ziche Ruhan openly and honestly about everything. Therefore, she was also the one who was treated the worst by Ziche Ruhan. When Ziche Ruhan met Chu Shuling, she always acted like a poor little white flower who was bullied, which led to others misunderstanding Chu Shuling and thinking that Chu Shuling was bullying and domineering, and her reputation in the academy was very bad. Chu Shuling suffered whenever she met Ziche Ruhan, and Chu Shuling's childhood sweetheart fiancé actually fell in love with Ziche Ruhan, and proposed to Chu Shuling that he could cancel the engagement. Chu Shuling was hit hard by the breakup, and Ziche Ruhan even showed off in front of her and said a lot of words to stimulate the little girl. The little girl couldn't say anything exciting, so she challenged Ziche Ruhan directly, and she didn't care about life or death. Chu Shuling and Ziche Ruhan are both Zhuan-level summoners, but Chu Shuling's summoned beasts are all 4-star level, while Ziche Ruhan's summoned beasts, except Xingyuan, are 7-star and 8-star, both of which were summoned by Xingyuan. Once the pressure of the divine beast was exerted, how could the two high-level summoned beasts dare not obey his orders and sign a contract with Ziche Ruhan? When the two high-level summoned beasts appeared, everyone in the academy was shocked. Even some teachers in the academy may not have 8-star summoned beasts. Therefore, many teachers and even the top leaders of the academy paid attention to Ziche Ruhan. The strength of high-level summoned beasts could not be made up by the number of 3-4-star summoned beasts. Ziche Ruhan defeated Chu Shuling with only one 8-star summoned beast. After being beaten into pighead by Su Qingni, Ziche Ruhan was afraid, and he had to keep a powerful summoned beast by his side to protect himself in every battle. Ziche Ruhan did not kill Chu Shuiling. Although they had signed a life and death contract, it was not easy to kill people in the academy, especially in public. If she killed someone, it would damage Ziche Ruhan's image as a white lotus. However, the 8-star summoned beast severely injured all of Chu Shuiling's summoned beasts and damaged the foundations of 3 summoned beasts, making it impossible for the 3 summoned beasts to upgrade. Not only that, the 8-star summoned beast also destroyed the contract circuit in Chu Shuiling's body, which means that Chu Shuiling could no longer summon other summoned beasts except the 3 summoned beasts. Even if she cultivated to the god-level summoner, she could not summon the 4th summoned beast. Chu Shuiling was completely ruined. Zicharuohan entered the side of the academy's senior management because of this battle, and then was accepted as a true disciple by the instructor in the academy, who was considered to be only second to the dean. Her status in the academy soared like taking a plane. On the contrary, Chu Shuiling fell into the abyss. This battle made her already bad reputation in the academy even worse. Being ridiculed by others made the girl's originally firm heart almost collapse. The abandonment of the family made the little girl completely collapse. Chu Shuling's fiancé reported the result of the battle back to his family and asked his family to cancel the engagement. After the Chu family learned about Chu Shuling's situation, they decisively gave up this junior who was no longer worth cultivating. Xianfang College has only geniuses and no waste. Chu Shuling's situation is impossible to let her continue to stay in Xianfang College. The college teacher came forward to let Chu Shuling drop out of school. The little girl was abandoned by the college, abandoned by her family, abandoned by her fiancé, abandoned by everyone, and laughed at by others. Even the strongest little girl couldn't stand it. When Su Qingni met her, the little girl was thinking about ending her life. "I know about you," Su Qingni said. "Do you know who I am?" Chu Shuling shook her head. How could she know who this person was? "This is just a stranger. My name is Wanqi Su, and I used to be Ziche Ruhan's fiancé," Su Qingni said. "What?" Chu Shuling looked up suddenly and stared at Su Qingni. Su Qingni continued, "I share the same suffering as you. I was abandoned by Ziche Ruhan. Ziche Ruhan was originally a waste who couldn't summon a summoned beast. I didn't despise her, but in the end, this woman kicked me when she got the chance to summon a summoned beast." Chu Shuling's gaze towards Su Qingni changed and became much softer. She really regarded Su Qingni as a friend who shared the same suffering as her. "However, I also got the chance later, so I no longer took Ziche Ruhan seriously." Chu Shuling's eyes flashed with envy and sadness. Others were able to get the chance to improve themselves, but even if she got the chance, it would be useless. She was completely ruined. So what if there are only 3 summoned beasts? If all 3 become holy beasts, wouldn't they be stronger than those summoned beasts that are all below 8 stars? Chu Shuling whispered, "The roots of my summoned beasts have been destroyed, and they can no longer improve their strength levels." "Not necessarily," Su Qingni said like an old witch using candy to lead a child to the right. "I know a place that can make up for the roots of your summoned beasts and even improve their strength levels." Chu Shuling opened her eyes wide, grabbed Su Qingni's hands fiercely, and asked anxiously, "What place? Where is it?" "It's in Xianfeng City," Su Qingni said. "There is a store in the city called Chance Pavilion. There are many good things in it, including things that improve the strength of summoned beasts, elixirs with different effects, strange but powerful weapons and armor, and top-notch skills." "Chance Pavilion? Is there such a store in Xianfeng City?" Chu Shuling frowned. The little girl likes to go shopping and is familiar with the stores in Xianfeng City, but she has never seen such a store. Su Qingni smiled mysteriously. The Chance Pavilion, naturally only those who are destined to enter can enter it. Otherwise, everyone can enter and buy good things, then wouldn't the world be in chaos?" "Really?" Chu Shuling confirmed to Su Qingni with expectation and fear. She really hoped that the Chance Pavilion really existed, but she was worried that Su Qingni was lying to her. If such a mysterious existence really existed, could it be unknown to the big forces? "Of course it's true." Seeing Chu Shuling's doubts, Su Qingni said, "The Chance Pavilion only receives people with a destiny. If it's not a destiny, even if the Chance Pavilion is right in front of him, he can't see it. There are few people with a destiny. The Chance Pavilion has existed for a long time, and only a handful of people can enter it, no more than the number of 2 palms. And the destined people who have benefited from it are unlikely to tell others about their opportunities. Therefore, very few people know about the Chance Pavilion. Even the aristocratic families don't know about the existence of the Chance Pavilion. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 405 Summoner World 13. "Then how did you know about the existence of the Chance Pavilion?" Chu Shuling asked doubtfully. "That's because I've been there and got a chance from there," Su Qingni said. Chu Shuling's heart suddenly became hot. If she could enter the Chance Pavilion, would she be able to cure the 3 summoned beasts and restore her contract circuit? But, could she get in? Would she be the destined one? Chu Shuling was worried and asked unconsciously. You can try. Su Qingni said, if you try, there is still a glimmer of hope. If you don't try, there is no hope at all. You're right. Chu Shuling nodded vigorously. The despair in her eyes disappeared, replaced by determination. The little girl stood up and bowed deeply to Su Qingni. Thank you. Su Qingni accepted Chu Shuling's thanks, watched the little girl run away quickly, changed another road, and quickly returned to Xianfeng City. She had to go to the city to buy a shop to show off. The shop was soon bought. Su Qingni arranged a formation outside the shop, making the shop disappear from the sight of others. She set up a ban outside the formation and added several triggering conditions. Only those who met the conditions could enter the ban, pass through the formation, and come to the store. No changes were made in the store, and there were no goods. Su Qingni would sell goods to people who entered the store according to their own needs. However, her good things would not be given to people with bad character or those who she looked down upon. These people might become fish caught in the net and enter the store. Su Qingni would not receive them. They would leave when they saw the bare store and felt bored. After the store was arranged, Su Qingni waited in the store, waiting for Chu Shuling to come. However, she did not wait for Chu Shuling, but waited for another customer. This was a man who looked about 30 years old. He looked young, but a pair of eyes made Su Qingni know that this man was not as old as he looked, and this man's strength. Su Qingni, who had reached the peak of the saint-level summoner, easily saw the man's strength. This was a saint-level summoner. There is only one saint-level summoner in Xianfeng City, and the man's identity is obvious. He is the trump card of Xianfeng Academy, saint-level summoner Zhu Xiang. Customer, what do you want to buy? Su Qingni was wearing a large black cloak, and the hat covered most of his face, making it difficult to see his appearance and even his figure. What do you sell in this shop? Zhu Xiang asked. He did not feel dissatisfied or want to leave because the shop was bare, but he personally felt that this shop was unusual. There was nothing in front of him, but he only took one step, and the scenery in front of him suddenly changed, and a small shop appeared in front of him. He had never encountered such a bizarre world in his thousands of years. This made Zhu Xiang attach great importance to this shop. Even if there was nothing in the shop, Zhu Xiang did not have any contempt or dissatisfaction. The shop sells everything. Su Qingni said, but this shop is called Jian Pavilion. It's your luck to be able to enter the shop, and what you buy also depends on your luck. Tell us your ideas, and the shop will prepare goods for you according to your luck. Jian Pavilion. Zhu Xiang chewed on the name of the shop and said, I want to buy a god-level summoned beast. Does Jian Pavilion have it? There are no god-level beasts in the shop. Su Qingni saw Zhu Xiang's expression turned into disappointment, and made a big turn. However, there is god-level beast blood in the shop. You can give your summoned beast a god-level beast blood, so that your summoned beast can fuse with a god-level beast blood and evolve into a god-level beast. God-level beast blood. Zhu Xiang was extremely excited. Is there really a god-level beast blood? Su Qingni nodded and said, the shop can sell you a portion of god-level beast blood. But there is only one portion. If you want to make your summoned beast a god-level beast, you can summon it first. The shop will choose the god-level beast blood according to the breed and qualifications of the summoned beast. Zhu Xiang seemed to hear heavenly sounds. If it weren't for the owner of the shop, Zhu Xiang would have wanted to sing a song. After calming down and suppressing his strong excitement, Zhu Xiang asked, is it not limited to the species level? A low-level summoned beast can also become a divine beast after taking the blood of a divine beast. Yes, but the price will be higher. Su Qingni said. Zhu Xiang immediately summoned his own summoned beast. It was a 5-star summoned beast, the lowest level of all his summoned beasts, and the one that had accompanied him the longest. This wind wolf was the first summoned beast he summoned when he was young. It helped him for a long time before he grew up, saved his life several times, and had a very good relationship with him. Even though it could only reach 5 stars at most due to the limitation of its own bloodline, it later helped Zhu Xiang almost nothing. Zhu Xiang did not abandon it like many summoners, but often summoned it out, not for fighting, but for companionship and emotional communication. For this opportunity, Zhu Xiang chose Fenglang, firstly because of their relationship, and secondly because he wanted to see if this chance pavilion was really that powerful. Su Qingni glanced at the Fenglang wagging its tail at its partner, waved her hand, and took out a small jade bottle. The jade bottle contained the blood of Kimu Wolf, one of the 28 constellations. This one was a deity, and the blood was as powerful as the nine-tailed fox spirit. Su Qingni poured out 2 drops of each of the blood she collected and diluted it 10 times and 100 times respectively. The bottle for the fangling contained the 10-fold diluted Kimu wolf blood. Su Qingni handed the bottle to Zhu Xiang, indicating that Zhu Xiang should feed his partner himself. Zhu Xiang opened the bottle cap, and the fanglang immediately stopped wagging its tail, staring at the bottle in Zhu Xiang's hand with eyes as big as copper bells. Zhu Xiang could see the eagerness in its eyes. Zhu Xiang immediately fed the blood to the wind wolf, and the wind wolf could not wait to swallow it into its stomach. Then, the whole beast began to tremble all over, and soon fell into deep sleep. Su Qingni said, "After a month, the blood is completely integrated, and the wind wolf will be able to evolve into a divine beast." Although Zhu Xiang was a little worried and a little skeptical, he did not say it out loud, and only said, "Okay, after a month, when the wind wolf evolves into a divine beast, I will bring it to thank the shopkeeper. No, just pay the money quickly." Su Qingni knew what Zhu Xiang was thinking. Wasn't it because he was afraid that the divine beast blood she gave him would not work? He thought of coming to her to settle the account. Humph, don't say that. She never sells counterfeit and shoddy goods. Zhu Xiang wanted to enter the chance pavilion again, but it was not possible. Everyone had only one chance to enter. Chapter 406 Summoner World Ziv. Zhu Xiang left, and the little girl Chu Shuling finally found the chance pavilion. Chu Shuling wanted to restore her contract circuit and also wanted to restore her summoned beast. This was considered 2 orders of business. Su Qingni told the little girl that she could only choose one. The little girl was distressed for a long time and chose to restore her summoned beast to its roots. The kind-hearted little girl felt sorry for the 3 summoned beasts. If she gave up on them, the little girl would never be at peace for the rest of her life. So she chose to treat the 3 summoned beasts and become stronger with them in the future. Just like the little brother who saved her said before, what if the number is small? Good quality is enough. 3 powerful summoned beasts are enough to beat 10 low-level summoned beasts. Su Qingni had already calculated Chu Shuling's choice. The reason why she created such a chance pavilion was because she liked the kindness of the little girl and wanted to help her. Of course, there was also the desire to make trouble for Zichairuan. Su Qingni took out 3 portions of blood, which were the blood of the Heart Moon Fox, Fengri Rabbit and Ji Shui Bao in the 28 constellations. Because the 3 beasts' foundations were damaged and their own strength was low, Su Qingni did not use diluted blood, but directly gave 1 drop to each of them. After swallowing the blood, the 3 beasts fell into deep sleep and evolved. Chu Shuling took out all her money to pay the reward. This money was accumulated by her for more than 10 years. The family expelled her, and she only had this money. This money is a huge sum of money for ordinary people, but Chu Shuling thinks that this money is definitely not enough to pay the reward. There is a list of spiritual medicines that can restore the foundation of summoned beasts on the continent. They are very rare, and each one is a priceless treasure. I can use all my money to restore my summoned beasts, which is a great bargain. Su Qingni accepted this money, although it was much less than the reward given by Zhu Xiang. However, her original intention of opening this opportunity pavilion was to help Chu Shuling, so she didn't care about the amount of money. What's more, the sum of these 2 sums of money is really not a small amount, which is more than the monthly income of the entire Wanqi family. After completing these 2 deals, Su Qingni temporarily stopped thinking about continuing to do business. She closed the chance pavilion, returned to Xianfang College, and continued to read books in the library to look for clues. There are a lot of books in the library. Su Qingni has only read half of the books in half a year, and the other half has not been read. 2 places similar to the extremely Yinland were found, but it is impossible to judge whether it is, and Su Qingni needs to go and see it in person. While Su Qingni was reading, a month had passed, and Zhu Xiang and Chu Shuling's summoned beasts had evolved. Seeing the wind wolf standing in front of him in human form, Zhu Xiang laughed happily, and immediately took the wind wolf to find a few old friends to chat, and received the envious and jealous eyes of old friends. Zhu Xiang certainly would not tell the old friends who asked him how to evolve the wind wolf into a divine beast. He did not want too many people to know the existence of the chance pavilion. The benefits that belong to a few people are opportunities. If most people know about it, it is not an opportunity, but cabbage. However, these old friends are not vegetarians. The wind wolf is not a summoned beast with restricted bloodline, but it must have some chance to become a divine beast in one fell swoop. Where is the chance? This old guy has been staying in Xianfeng City for many years, and the chance must be in Xianfeng City. So, these old friends sent their men to Xianfeng City to inquire about the news. Zhu Xiang also knew the actions of these old friends and sneered in his heart. Those who enter the Chance Pavilion are destined people, and in tens of thousands of years, there are very few people who can enter the Chance Pavilion, which shows how rare destined people are. He can't think that the men of the old friends are the destined people of the Chance Pavilion. Zhu Xiang was as still as a mountain, which made the old friends confused. Did they guess wrong? Chu Shuling was stunned. She just thought that the three summoned beasts could make up for the basics and improve their strength with her. Unexpectedly, Chu Shuling looked at the three young men and women standing in front of her, and her eyelids flipped and she fell backwards. The three humanoid summoned beasts were about to step forward to support Chu Shuling, but the girl had already opened her eyes and turned around to stand up straight. She stared at the three beasts with burning eyes, and asked with suppressed excitement, Are you really my summoned beasts? Could it be that someone was joking with her, teasing her, pretending to be her summoned beasts? The boy with two big buck teeth smiled and replied, Of course, Shuling can't recognize us. How about we change back to our original forms? Chu Shuling nodded stupidly, and the three boys changed into their original forms in front of her, a fox, a rabbit and a leopard. After a few breaths, the summoned beasts returned to their human forms. Become human. Only divine beasts can become human. You are all divine beasts now. Chu Shuling thought she was dreaming, and pinched herself hard. It hurt. It wasn't a dream, so everything in front of her was real? Chu Shuling remembered the name of the store. Chance Pavilion, this is simply a great opportunity. The little money I gave is not enough. Chu Shuling took out all the money she had earned during this period, bought a generous gift, and wanted to go to the Chance Pavilion to express her gratitude. However, the girl walked on that street for no less than 100 times, but could not find the Chance Pavilion. It is indeed the Chance Pavilion. Chu Shuling sighed. She had already had an opportunity, and it was impossible for her to have a second opportunity. The cat-eyed boy was a foodie, and had long been drooling over the food that Chu Shuling bought. Seeing that Chu Shuling had given up looking for the Chance Pavilion, he quickly said, Shuling, can we eat these things? Chu Shuling threw the things in her hand to the cat-eyed boy in a bad mood. Eat. The cat-eyed boy chuckled, opened the outer packaging, took out the food inside, and started eating. The other two disliked the cat-eyed boy for being embarrassing, and kept a distance from him. The charming girl said to Chu Shuling, Shuling, when will you take us to seek revenge on that woman named Ziche Ruohan? That woman is so vicious, we must take revenge and let her summoned beast also taste the pain we have suffered. Hearing about revenge, Chu Shuling immediately became full of fighting spirit. Let's go and take revenge now. Humph, Ziche Ruohan, you wait. Do you think that I will be destroyed just by destroying my contract circuit and summoned beast? God is on my side. He must not be able to stand a hypocritical and disgusting woman like you, so he let me meet the Chance Pavilion. I just don't know if God will help you find the Chance Pavilion if I destroy your contract circuit. Chapter 407 Summoner World 15. Xianfeng College was in an uproar. Students heard a piece of news that they found incredible. Chu Shuling, who was defeated by Ziche Ruohan, had her future cut off, and was expelled from the college, actually returned to the college. No one knew what resources she had encountered, and she had the confidence to challenge Ziche Ruohan again, and challenged Ziche Ruohan to death. The first reaction of the students to this news was that it was impossible, the second reaction was that the name was wrong, and the third reaction was that Chu Shuling was here to die. With her future cut off, abandoned by her family, and feeling that she had no desire to live, she simply found a decent way to die. Ziche Ruohan thought so too. She hated Chu Shuling very much. Since Chu Shuling came here to die, she would fulfill her wish. Because Chu Shuling was no longer a student of Xianfeng College, her duel with Ziche Ruohan was set on the public arena of Xianfeng City. The public arena was in the square of the east gate of Xianfeng City. There were often many people from Xianfeng College and non-colleges dueling there, so there were many people nearby. In addition, students from Xianfeng College who heard the news came to watch the fun. When the two parties appeared, the ring was already surrounded by 3 layers of people. Here she comes. A student from Xianfeng College who knew Chu Shuling saw Chu Shuling walking towards the ring step by step and immediately shouted, Others looked in the direction the student pointed and saw Chu Shuling with a calm expression, steady steps, and calm momentum. She didn't look like someone who was going to die at all. Everyone was surprised. Did Chu Shuling have something to rely on? But what could she rely on when her contract circuit was abolished, her contract beast was abolished, and she was expelled from the family? Could this be going to death calmly, showing the demeanor of a noble lady from a noble family? Is she stupid? Thinking of this in her heart, everyone made a way for Chu Shuling to walk onto the ring. Chu Shuling stood on the ring and waited for a while, and Ziche Ruhan also came. Several young men surrounded Ziche Ruhan, including Chu Shuling's ex-fiancée. Seeing this scene, many students from Xianfang College couldn't help but curl their lips. Most of these students were girls, and there were also some descendants of big families and several teenagers who heard the words of Ziche Wang and Wan Qichen in the inn. The descendants of big families were much more knowledgeable and had stronger character than others. Although there were a few who were attracted by Ziche Ruhan's beauty and special charm at first, after listening to the words of their companions in the inn and knowing Ziche Ruhan's background, these people would no longer be fooled by Ziche Ruhan. Therefore, those who were fooled by Ziche Ruhan were all second-rate young masters of aristocratic families. Those young masters of big families stood by the windows on the second floor of the nearby tea houses and restaurants, looking down at the ring from above, just like watching a monkey show. They thought the same as most people, thinking that Chu Shuling was here to die. Although they knew the result, they still sighed at Chu Shuling's operation. Ziche Ruhan stood opposite Chu Shuling, and said with a kind and persuasive expression, "Miss Chu, I feel bad about you, but it is wrong to seek death. Although I accept this duel, I will not kill you. Why don't we just not fight this competition? You should step down and leave." Chu Shuling hated Ziche Ruhan's fake white lotus look the most. She snorted coldly and said, "I'm going to return these words to you. Don't worry, I won't kill you, and I won't destroy my contract circuit like you did. I just let my contracted beasts avenge themselves and let your contracted beasts feel the pain of being crippled." Ziche Ruhan narrowed her eyes. Chu Shuling said this with confidence. How was she going to cripple the foundation of her contracted beast? Ziche Ruhan contacted Xing Yuan in her heart and asked Xing Yuan if he had any weapon that could hurt the foundation of the contracted beast. There are some. Xing Yuan mentioned several weapons that can hurt the contracted beasts, and said, "This girl has nothing, so she shouldn't have those weapons. Even if she does, those weapons can only hurt summoned beasts below 7 stars, and can't hurt me and the other 2 summoned beasts. Don't worry." That's good, that's good. Ziche Ruhan was relieved, and looked at Chu Shuling with confidence, and said softly, "Miss Chu, I'm sorry that my summoned beasts destroyed your summoned beasts. But I won't allow you to hurt my summoned beasts, they are my companions." Chu Shuling snorted coldly, "Why are you talking so much nonsense? This is on the ring, and the people below are waiting to see us duel. Don't be long-winded, hurry up and do it." After saying that, she summoned her 3 companions. The 3 little companions were very cunning and turned into beasts, and they didn't look like they were before evolution, so that others thought they were still useless summoned beasts. Ziche Ruhan looked at the 3, with contempt in his eyes, and summoned his 2 8-star summoned beasts. As soon as the 2 came out, they exuded the pressure of a high-level summoned beast and rushed towards the 3. They communicated with Ziche Ruhan through the contract, and Ziche Ruhan asked them to kill the 3 with their powerful strength. At that time, they would say that the opponent's summoned beast was too useless and could not resist the attack of the high-level summoned beast. The 2 thought that the 3 would be frightened by their pressure, but who knew that the 3 seemed to feel nothing and just stared at them. I really don't know if the 3 are slow or stupid. The 2 decided to fight quickly and immediately launched an attack and rushed towards the 3. The 3 took action. The attack of the 2 was very sharp and powerful. The audience thought that the 3 could not avoid the attack of the 2 and would be seriously injured if they did not die. However, the facts overturned their imagination. Not only were the 3 not hurt, but they blocked the attack of the 2 with one move. And only the rabbit-shaped summoned beast and the leopard-shaped summoned beast blocked the attack, while the fox-shaped summoned beast did not take action. Everyone was shocked. Aren't these 3 basically useless? How did they get better? But even if they survived, shouldn't they only have the strength of 4 stars? How could they possibly fight against high-level summoned beasts? Everyone rubbed their eyes. They were not seeing things. There were indeed 2 4-star summoned beasts blocking 2 8-star summoned beasts. It was incredible. No wonder Chu Shuling challenged Ziche Ruhan again. A young man at the restaurant said, and he looked at Chu Shuling with admiration. Ziche Ruhan was shocked. What was going on? She quickly called Xingyuan in her heart, and Xingyuan's tone was unusually serious. I'm afraid the strength of these three is already above 8 stars. All above 8 stars? Then Shui Ming and Lai Yang can't beat them. Ziche Ruhan was shocked and annoyed. She accepted Chu Shuling's challenge this time because she wanted to show off, but now, she was afraid that she was going to fail. Chapter 408 Summoner World 16. Xingyuan, you take action. Ziche Ruhan bit her lower lip and made a decision. Well, I will leave in beast form. Xingyuan agreed. Chu Shuling and her summoned beasts actually embarrassed the girl he loved, and he must tear them apart. The next moment, Xingyuan appeared in front of Ziche Ruhan in beast form and rushed towards Chu Shuling and the 3 summoned beasts. The summoned beasts in the appearance of foxes saw Xingyuan rushing over and immediately stepped forward. Xingyuan raised his claws and fiercely tore at the fox. He thought he could easily tear the fox in half, but he didn't know that his attack was blocked by the fox. Blocked? Blocked? Xingyuan was shocked and hurriedly retreated to Ziche Ruhan's side. Seeing him so puzzled, Ziche Ruhan asked, Xingyuan, what's wrong? Xingyuan was shocked and didn't care to cover up, and said directly, that fox is the same as me. What? Ziche Ruhan screamed. The same as Xingyuan? Isn't that also a mythical beast? Why are there so many mythical beasts on the mainland? Wan Qisu has a divine beast, and now Chu Shuling also has one. When did divine beasts become so worthless? Then isn't she the most special one? Ziche Ruhan was shocked, and the people below the stage were even more shocked. They all heard Xingyuan speak. A summoned beast that can speak. That's a holy beast. The legendary holy beast. Only a holy beast that can be summoned by a holy summoner. Ziche Ruhan can actually summon a holy summoned beast. Isn't she as powerful as a holy summoner? And Chu Shuling, her summoned beast was just destroyed a few days ago, but now it can fight against a holy beast. Could it be that it has also evolved into a holy beast? How much opportunity did Chu Shuling get? Ziche Ruhan also got a huge opportunity to have a holy beast. These two people are simply amazing. Can't they share some of the opportunity? However, before they can express their envy, jealousy and hatred, the following development makes them jealous and crazy. Because after Ziche Ruhan's summoned beast spoke, it actually transformed and became a very handsome man. It can turn into an adult. This is a divine beast. Then Chu Shuling's fox summoned beast is also a divine beast? Everyone couldn't help but think of what happened when Xiangfeng Academy was recruiting students. A divine beast appeared on the summoner continent, and all major forces searched for it for a long time but couldn't find it. So it was obtained by Ziche Ruhan and Chu Shuling? No, Chu Shuling's summoned beast was still a 4-star beast before, not a divine beast. Could it have evolved in this month? But no matter how you plan, it won't be so fast. Could it be that Chu Shuling's summoned beast was seriously injured before, and it was obviously a divine beast, but it could only show the strength of a 4-star? Now that it has recovered, it comes back for revenge? Yes, yes. It must be like this. Otherwise, how could Chu Shuling have the confidence to challenge Ziche Ruhan again? Haha, the Chu family must be regretting it to death, right? They utilitarianly drove the younger generation who thought they had no future out of the family, but they didn't know that they had a divine beast. Originally this divine beast belonged to their family, and now, there is also the K family. The young man from the K family actually cancelled his engagement with Chu Shuling. The elders of the K family would be very upset if they knew the news, right? After being surprised, many people in the audience gloated over the misfortune and waited to see the joke. Of course, the jealousy in their hearts did not decrease at all. Some people immediately sent a message back to their family. Now that Chu Shuling no longer has a family, they can win her over to their family. If they can't win her over. On the stage, the fox also turned into human form, confirming that she was a divine beast. However, the other two beasts did not turn into human form. They had secretly communicated with Chu Shuling that having a divine beast was enough to attract attention, and the other two should not show their true strength, lest the jealous people join forces to deal with Chu Shuling. Although Chu Shuling was not afraid of them, it would be better to leave the rabbit and the leopard as trump cards. Therefore, the rabbit and the leopard only showed the strength of 8-star summoned beasts, which was a little stronger than Ziche Ruhan's 2 summoned beasts. After a fierce fight, The rabbit and the leopard defeated the two summoned beasts and abolished the foundation of the two summoned beasts. These two summoned beasts will not be able to advance any further in the future. However, their loss is not that great. They are already 8-star summoned beasts, and it should not be too difficult for them to advance to the 9-star holy level summoned beasts. Perhaps these two will never be able to advance to the 9-star level in their lifetime, so whether they are useless or not really has little impact on them. The fox and Xingyin fought together. The fox with the blood of the heart moon fox is as powerful as Zhu Yi with the blood of the 9-tailed fox, and they fought evenly with Xingyin. Xingyin had no time to care about Zichairuan. Just like Su Qingni, Chu Shuling easily came to Zichairuan, raised her wrist, and slapped him with a big slap. She flipped her hand again and slapped Zichairuan on the other side of his face. Zichairuan's face was visibly swollen. Zichairuan was going crazy. Last time Wan Qisu beat her like a pig, but no one else saw it. This time, Chu Shuiling beat her like a pig in front of everyone. Seeing so many people, she lost all her face. Damn it. It was too damned. Zichairuan rushed towards Chu Shuiling like a mad woman, but a woman who only relied on the protection of summoned beasts could not be a match for Chu Shuiling, who was constantly improving her strength. Chu Shuiling easily dodged her. She couldn't stop her feet and fell to her death. Zichairuan seemed to hear the laughter of others. She was so ashamed and hated it that she shouted loudly, XX, XXX, come and help me. The people she called were all young men who admired her. When these young men heard Zichairuan's call, they immediately wanted to go on stage to help Zichairuan, but were stopped by others. You can't just go to the life and death arena whenever you want. If you want to bully the weak with your numbers, you should also think about the consequences of breaking the arena rules. These young men couldn't go on stage, and could only stand in the audience with their eyes wide open. Chu Shuling's ex-fiancé shouted at the stage, Chu Shuling, if Ruohan gets hurt, I will never let you go. Chu Shuling stood on the stage, looking down at her ex-fiancé, and felt that she was so blind that she actually liked such a man. Looking closely, he was not particularly handsome or outstanding. She was really blind to like him. Chu Shuling snorted coldly, just you? Are you my opponent? The ex-fiancé was stuck. Yes, he and Chu Shuling were only comparable in strength before, but now Chu Shuling has a god-level summoned beast, which means she can kill him in seconds. He is really not Chu Shuling's opponent. But why did Chu Shuling react like this? Shouldn't she be sad after hearing what he said, and want to please him and let Ruohan go? Chapter 409 Summoner World 17. Chu Shuling didn't know what her ex-fiancé was thinking. If she knew, she might have vomited. How self-righteous this man is. Zichairuan heard the voice of her ex-fiancé and shouted, Niangniang, hurry up and kill her. Zichairuan's cheeks were swollen, and her expression was ferocious at the moment. She looked very scary, and the boys who admired her couldn't help but take 2 steps back when they saw it. It was too scary. How could the girl they liked have such a scary side? Zichairuan couldn't get help from the boys, and Xingyuan was entangled by Xinyu and couldn't help her. Zichairuan was slapped in the face by Chu Shuling, and she couldn't stand it anymore. She took out a jade token from her arms and crushed it hard. The jade token was given to her by her master, asking her to crush the jade token when she was in danger, and her master would come to rescue immediately. Not long after the jade token was broken, the rabbit and leopard, who had completed their mission, felt the powerful momentum approaching from a distance, and immediately ran to Chu Shuling and protected her behind them. The next moment, a powerful pressure fell from midair, suppressing the people on the stage and the people below. The people below felt the terrible pressure and could hardly stand. On the contrary, Chu Shuling, who was standing on the stage, was protected by 2 divine beasts, and the pressure had no effect on her at all. You have to know that this pressure was only the pressure of an emperor-level summoner, which was 2 levels lower than the divine beasts. After the pressure fell, a person also fell on the stage. It was a woman who looked more than 40 years old. She saw her apprentice being beaten into a pig head, and was slightly stunned for a moment, and couldn't help getting angry. Zichairuan, I asked you to use the jade token to summon me when your life is in danger. Are you in danger now? The woman was very angry. She was originally refining a weapon, but she was summoned by her apprentice. She was afraid that her apprentice was really in danger of life, so she immediately put down the half-finished weapon in her hand and ran over. What was the result? She was just slapped in the face by her opponent. Seeing that her opponent didn't want to kill Ziche Ruhan called her over, causing her weapon to be scrapped and wasting a lot of good materials. Master, if you don't come, this woman will really kill her disciple. Ziche Ruhan complained to her master, and she is humiliating her disciple like this, which is also a slap in your face, humiliating you. This sounds a little bit reasonable. The woman looked at Chu Shuling with an unfriendly look. Xinyu and Xingyuan were still fighting, and because they were in human form, the woman also thought they were human. Both of them restrained the pressure of the beasts. The woman didn't know they were beasts and didn't care about them. The woman stared at Chu Shuling and recognized her. After all, she watched the first fight between Chu Shuling and Ziche Ruhan. Seeing Ziche Ruhan crippled Chu Shuling, she felt that Ziche Ruhan was quiet in her eyes, so she accepted Ziche Ruhan as her personal disciple. It's you. You were defeated by Ruhan once, but you actually got the opportunity and were able to turn defeat into victory. The woman said, however, Ruhan is my apprentice. You humiliate her like this, which shows that you don't take me seriously. I have to teach you a lesson. Chu Shuling snorted coldly and said sarcastically, this is what is called when the younger one is beaten, the older one comes. Since you can't afford to lose, then don't agree to the arena fight. Senior, there are rules for arena fights. You don't take the rules of Xianfeng City seriously. Aren't you afraid that the city lord and the dean will be dissatisfied with you? The woman snorted, the so-called rules are to restrain you weak ones. If you become strong, the rules can't control you. Chu Shuling said, I heard that the dean of the academy will abide by the rules of the academy and Xianfeng City. Is this senior stronger than the dean? The woman's face turned black, and she said in a cold voice, you are sharp-tongued. Let me teach you a lesson. Chu Shuling, senior, are you so angry that you have nothing to refute? Can you only fight? Looking for death? The woman slapped Chu Shuling. The rabbit and the leopard were about to stop them, when suddenly a hand stretched out from the side and easily grabbed the woman's hand. Chu Rui, you are still so hot-tempered and protective. The owner of the hand sighed, I think this little girl is right. Even if you are an emperor-level summoner and one of the top 10 masters of Xianfeng Academy, you cannot defy the rules of Xianfeng City and Xianfeng Academy. At the end, the tone of the owner of the hand became colder and revealed a bit of sharpness. When Chu Rui saw the owner of the hand, her face changed completely and she turned pale with fear. She recognized the owner of the hand, and she was the only one in the audience who recognized the owner of the hand. This person had been living in seclusion for many years, but he unexpectedly showed up and caught her in the act. Your Excellency. Chu Rui's voice was shaking. What she said just now was too arrogant, and Your Excellency was dissatisfied with her. Your Excellency, that is, Zhu Xiang, ignored Chu Rui and looked at Chu Shuling with complicated eyes. He had learned from other students' discussions that this girl had her contract circuit and summoned beast destroyed by Ziche Ruohan some time ago, but now she was able to defeat Ziche Ruohan, and her summoned beast recovered and became a divine beast. Zhu Xiang thought of a possibility, Chance Pavilion. Only Chance Pavilion can help Chu Shuiling's summoned beast recover and evolve into a divine beast. This is also a destined person like himself. Destined people should naturally be with destined people, they are companions. Chu Shuiling. Zhu Xiang asked, are you willing to be my personal disciple? Chu Rui's Your Excellency made Chu Shuiling and everyone present know Zhu Xiang's identity. This person is a legendary saint-level summoner, one of the most powerful people on the continent. If before, Zhu Xiang said that he would take her as his apprentice, Chu Shuiling would definitely be very happy and eager to agree, but now, Chu Shuiling has doubts about Zhu Xiang's intentions. Wouldn't this person want to take her as his apprentice in order to steal her divine beast? Don't blame her for thinking too much. With so many people at the scene, 9 out of 10 people want to snatch her divine beast. Understanding Chu Shuling's concerns, Zhu Xiang smiled and released the Wind Wolf. When the Wind Wolf was summoned, it was in beast form, and the next moment it changed into human form. There was an exclamation from the crowd. Another divine beast. Are there a large number of divine beasts today? 1, 2, 3, a full 3 divine beasts, and they appeared in front of them just like that. Are there as many divine beasts as 1 or 2 star summoned beasts now? Feeling the breath of another divine beast, Xinyu and Xingyuan stopped fighting and quickly separated and returned to Zishruhan and Chu Shuling. Seeing Zishruhan being beaten into pighead once, Zingidun was heartbroken and wanted to kill someone in anger, but there were two divine beasts at the scene besides him, so he didn't dare to make another move for a while. Chapter 410 Summoner Worlds VIE. Yichuru already knew the identities of Heart Moon Fox and Zingidun from the discussion of the people below the stage, and knew that they were divine beasts. Yichuru looked at them with greed in her eyes. She stared at the Heart Moon Fox with an expression that she was determined to win. Among the three divine beasts present, the Wind Wolf belonged to Zhu Xiang, and she dared not take it away. Zingidun belonged to her own apprentice, and she was embarrassed to snatch it. Only the Heart Moon Fox. Chu Shuling had no family support, and had conflicts with her own apprentice, so it would not be too troublesome to snatch things from her. Chu Shuling noticed the greed and malice in Yichuru's eyes, and understood that although she had three divine beasts, her own strength was not strong. If she did not find a backer as soon as possible, she would be in trouble in the future. Zhu Xiang was the highest-ranking person in Xianfang College and one of the strongest people in the entire continent. He also had a divine beast himself, so he should not snatch her divine beast. Chu Shuling was a little tempted. But what made her make up her mind was seeing Zhu Xiang move his lips towards her. No sound came out, but Chu Shuling looked at his mouth shape and knew that Zhu Xiang said three words, Opportunity Pavilion. So Zhu Xiang had also been to the Opportunity Pavilion? They were the same kind. Then she didn't have to worry about whether Zhu Xiang had bad intentions in accepting her as a disciple. Chu Shuling immediately knelt down and kowtowed to Zhu Xiang 3 times, Disciple greets Master. Yichuru. Yichuru's eyes were full of fire. Her divine beast, gone, gone. Zhu Xiang saw Yichuru's expression, and there was no contempt. Facing the divine beast, many people would behave worse than Yichuru. Didn't he also want a divine beast at the beginning? That is to say, he already has a divine beast, otherwise facing Chu Shuling's Heart Moon Fox, he might want to snatch it like Yichuru. But now Chu Shuling is his disciple, and no one else can think of snatching Chu Shuling's divine beast. Zhu Xiang grabbed Chu Shuling's arm and took her away quickly. Feng Lang called the 3 Heart Moon Foxes and took them to follow the 2 of the 3 beasts left, and everyone cast their fiery eyes on Zingidun, which made the always arrogant Zingidun feel uncomfortable. He snorted coldly and disappeared on the stage. Everyone cast their eyes on Zingidun's summoner Zishruhan, and saw Zishruhan's pig-headed face. It was so hot. Zishruhan felt everyone's disgust and cried in anger. Yichuru felt ashamed and regretted accepting this apprentice. But when she thought of her apprentice's god-level summon beast, she thought it was not bad to accept this apprentice. The beast should have friends and relatives who are also beasts. She could let Zishruhan's beast help her find another beast in the summoning beast continent and let that beast sign a contract with herself. Yichuru had a good plan, but she didn't know that a certain beast had escaped from the summoning beast continent and didn't dare to go back to the summoning beast continent. Her plan to obtain the divine beast would be delayed indefinitely. Yichuru took Zishruhan away, and the onlookers also dispersed. As they left, the news that Chu Shuling had a divine beast and worshipped a saint-level summoner as her teacher spread. Not long after, Chu Shuling's original family, the Chu family, heard the news. The head of the Chu family and the senior executives were so upset that they quickly prepared gifts and wanted to find Chu Shuling to repair the relationship, but they were coldly rejected by Chu Shuling. The Chu family regretted it very much. Not only did they deal with the people who proposed to expel Chu Shuling from the family in the same way, but they also blamed the ex-fiancé's family who was the instigator. The ex-fiancé's family also regretted it a little when they heard the news, but after hearing that Zishruhan also had a divine beast, that regret disappeared. They thought that when Zishruhan married their descendants, the divine beast would become theirs. But they didn't know that their descendants were just one of Zishruhan's followers, and Zishruhan would not marry their descendants. They were dreaming. Those forces who came to Xianfeng City to investigate because of Zhu Xiang reported the news of Zishruhan and Chu Shuling to their superiors. The superiors saw that Chu Shuling's summoned beast could evolve into a divine beast after being injured, and thought it might be related to Zhu Xiang's wind wolf evolving into a divine beast. Otherwise, Zhu Xiang would not accept this girl as his apprentice. What is the relationship between them? These investigators are quite capable. They found out that Zhu Xiang and Chu Shuling disappeared and suddenly appeared at a certain street corner, and even found out that Chu Shuling walked back and forth on that street for 100 times. The investigators thought this connection was strange, and walked back and forth on the street to investigate for many times, but did not find anything, but still reported this. Their masters, like Zhu Xiang, are old and smart. They immediately judged that there was something strange on that street, and came to Xianfeng City in person, running to the street where the chance pavilion was located every day to try their luck. Su Qingni thought these people were quite interesting, so she opened the chance pavilion and accepted them one by one. However, she did not let all these people get the blood of the divine beasts. It would not be good if the divine beasts really became cabbages. Su Qingni prepared a lot of skills and weapons and armor and placed them in front of these people. These people chose the items according to their own preferences and needs, and each of them left with satisfaction. Even if there were no divine beasts, they also got something else to improve their strength. Su Qingni simply managed the chance pavilion for a while longer and led some students from Xianfeng College to the chance pavilion. These students were all children with good character selected by Su Qingni. Su Qingni sold a blended blood of the divine beasts to these children. The effect of the blood of the divine beasts was good and average. After fusing the blood of the divine beasts, the summoned beasts of these children were lucky enough to successfully evolve into divine beasts, but most of them could only evolve into holy beasts. However, the number of summoners in Xianfeng College who had divine beasts as summoning partners also broke through double digits, with as many as 11 or 12. After the duel, everyone admired Ziche Ruhan because she owned a divine beast. They all forgot about the miserable state of Ziche Ruhan, who was beaten into a pig's head by Chu Shuling. So what if she had a pig's head? She owned a divine beast, which was a capital worth winning over. When Chu Shuling was taken away by Zhu Xiang to practice and did not appear in public, Ziche Ruhan became the focus of all forces and the object of everyone's admiration. Ziche Ruhan was very popular for a while. Then, people who owned divine beasts appeared one after another, and there were some students who did not have divine beasts, but they also owned sacred beasts. Ziche Ruhan's popularity was shared by others. These people who owned divine beasts and sacred beasts had good character and personality. Compared with Ziche Ruhan, the hypocritical White Lotus, everyone was more willing to admire them. Chapter 411 Summoner World 19. The Chance Pavilion was known to other people because of these students who had divine beasts and holy beasts. They were really overwhelmed by the enthusiasm of the crowd, and one of the young girls told this story of the Chance Pavilion. The other girls on Earth had already told this story of the Chance Pavilion, so they no longer concealed it and told this story of the Chance Pavilion. Anyway, the boss of the Chance Pavilion said that entering the Chance Pavilion depends on chance. It is impossible for one person among hundreds of thousands of people to enter. Even if the Chance Pavilion is made public, those who know about it may not be able to enter the Chance Pavilion. Sure enough, except for 2 young men and women who entered the Chance Pavilion to obtain the opportunity and let their summoned beasts evolve into holy level summoned beasts, no one else entered the Chance Pavilion. The Chance Pavilion was confirmed to exist and possessed mysterious and powerful power, but they could not enter, which made everyone feel anxious and unwilling. Especially those big forces, who originally wanted to take control of the Chance Pavilion. As a result, they couldn't even find the door of the Chance Pavilion. No matter which forces or people were trying hard to find the Chance Pavilion, they didn't know that they couldn't find it anymore. Because the owner of the Chance Pavilion closed it. A lot of blood of divine beasts had been taken out, and Su Qingni didn't plan to take it out again. There were already enough divine beasts in this world, and there couldn't be more. If there were more, it would exceed the world's tolerance. Anyway, more than 10 divine beasts were enough to make Ziche Ruhan uncomfortable. From the original unique to 1 in 10, can Ziche Ruhan accept this gap? As for the elixir and weapons and armor, Su Qingni decided to send the improved alchemy method and the method of refining weapons and armor back to the Wanqi family, letting them decide whether to keep it for themselves or share it with others. What made Su Qingni happy was that the people of the Wanqi family were all smart people. They chose to share with other families, reducing most of the benefits but preserving the Wanqi family, and greatly improving the status of the Wanqi family. Su Qingni happily returned to the library to continue reading, regardless of the turmoil outside. And Ziche Ruhan was just as Su Qingni expected, and she couldn't accept the change in her circumstances. In fact, she is living a pretty good life now, and her admirers are still by her side, but those who followed her and flattered her before have left. This made Ziche Ruhan, who was used to being sought after and used to being high and mighty, couldn't accept it anyway. But what can she do? Ziche Ruhan relied on just a divine beast, and she had no strength. Now there are many divine beasts in the academy, and the summoners of those divine beasts are not as strong as Ziche-Ruhan. How can Ziche-Ruhan compare with them? Ziche-Ruhan did not think about letting Xingyuan secretly kill those divine beasts and their masters, but the momentum of the battle between the divine beasts could not be hidden. Once or twice, everyone thought that Ziche-Ruhan's divine beast was competing with other people's divine beasts, but after so many times, everyone saw it. Ziche-Ruhan didn't want others to have divine beasts and let her divine beast kill other divine beasts. Unfortunately, although Ziche-Ruhan's divine beast was very strong, his opponent was also a divine beast, and it was not easy to kill him. The fight alarmed other people, so Ziche-Ruhan's plan failed. Ziche-Ruhan's character was questioned, and no one was willing to be with her except for her few admirers. However, because she had a divine beast by her side, her status in the academy was still transcendent. But even so, Ziche-Ruhan still did not make progress. Apart from relying on Xingyuan, she never thought more about enriching herself. Many years later, those students who had divine beasts or even holy beasts became the top masters on the continent, and only Ziche-Ruhan was annihilated by everyone. But it was Xingyuan's enemy who found him and killed him. Without Xingyuan, Ziche-Ruhan lost her confidence. She has not worked hard to improve herself for many years, and is still just a one-level summoner. The remaining summoned beasts she had contracted with were because of Xingyuan. After Xingyuan died, the other beasts were unwilling to be contract partners with Ziche-Ruhan. Some of them broke their summoning contracts with Ziche-Ruhan despite their injuries and returned to the summoning continent to recover. Ziche-Ruhan became a useless person before she met Xingyuan. Ziche-Ruhan's beauty made her still worth marrying. Ziche Wang wanted to choose one of Ziche-Ruhan's admirers as a son-in-law, and marry the son-in-law's family to benefit the family. However, these admirers might be willing to marry Ziche-Ruhan, but their families would not want their descendants to marry a useless person with only beauty, especially this useless person was a bit fickle. Who knows if the grandson born will be their own family? The noble family did not want Ziche-Ruhan, and the Ziche family could not get any benefits, so they drove Ziche-Ruhan out of the family. No one knows where Ziche-Ruhan went in the end. After reading the books in the library, Su Qingni left Xianfang College and searched for the extremely yin land according to the clues in the book. After searching everywhere, he found the extremely yin land and buried the netherworld stone. After that, he just had to wait for the netherworld to connect to this world. Su Qingni began to travel on the continent, traveled all over the continent, and also went to the summoning beast continent to play. He met several summoning beast friends. When the 10 years were up, Su Qingni left this world, but she left her memories during the travel to the original owner Wanqisu. Wanqisu opened his eyes and whispered thank you to the sky. He didn't know why he said thank you. Su Qingni left most of her memories to Wanqisu, and changed some of his memories, making Wanqisu think that he had been controlling his body for the past 10 years. And he became so powerful because of the opportunity, but he just subconsciously said the word thank you. After leaving home for more than 10 years, it's time to go home. Wanqisu carried his bag and rode back to the base camp of the Wanqi family. Wanqisu lived in this world for 100 years. 100 years later, Wanqisu broke through the barrier between the saint level and the god level, ascended and left this world. Su Qingni recovered 3 pieces of the ancestor witch's true spirit fragments this time. One from Xingyuan, one from Ziche-Ruhan, and one from the summoning beast continent. This time the harvest was good. Su Qingni happily handed the fragments to Empress Pingxin and received a number of rewards from Empress Pingxin. After returning to the witch world, Su Qingni walked around the gathering place of the little witches, saying that she wanted to check the cultivation level of the little witches, tested the little witches, and took away all the practice works. She didn't have many low-level consumables in her hands. Su Qingni took the little witch's practice works to make up for the number, which could be used when traveling to other worlds. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 412 Starlight 1. Su Qingni traveled to a new world. When she woke up, she found herself abandoned in a pile of corpses. There were more than 10 corpses, all of them were girls only about 17 or 18 years old, about the same age as the body she possessed. If she hadn't possessed this body would have been just one of the corpses. This world can't hold as much power as the summoner world, and Su Qingni couldn't smuggle the storage bag and the works of the little witches inside. Therefore, she didn't have any healing medicine to heal her wounds. She could only tear the clothes of a corpse next to her into strips and tightly wrap the wound that was still bleeding. The wound needed to be treated, but with her current strength, she would die as soon as she left this pile of corpses. She could only stay here honestly, wait until night to leave, and then treat her injuries. Now, it's better to practice internal skills. This world can practice internal skills. If you want to be safer after leaving here, you must have stronger strength. The original owner's strength is not bad, and his skills are very strong, but only compared with ordinary people. What's more, this world is a modern world. In addition to personal strong skills, there are also hot weapons. The enemy of the original owner was armed with hot weapons. With Su Qingni's current skills, it is still difficult to avoid hot weapons. Su Qingni received the memory of the original owner as soon as she was possessed. The original owner had the same name as her and was a Chinese living abroad. Her parents ran a Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. Although the business was not good, the family was considered wealthy. The original owner had 3 siblings, and she had an older sister and a younger brother. As the middle one, the original owner was neglected by her parents. Because the little girl was like an invisible person at home, she wanted to get more attention from others outside. In the absence of parental education, the little girl mixed with a group of little gangsters and often fought with others. The little girl had good skills and was quite fierce in fighting. In this way, the little girl was spotted by some people and was abducted to the isolated island where she is now. This isolated island is where a killer organization trains killers. The isolated island is in the sea, and it takes several days by boat to the nearest coast. It is impossible for people who come to the island to escape. There are more than 20 girls of the same age who were abducted to the island with a little girl. In the following days, these girls are both companions and enemies. They can cooperate to deal with others at one moment and kill each other at the next moment. The killer organization wants to train the best killers. They train these girls in the same way as raising goo, and the fittest will survive. The girls who are eliminated are either killed by the winning girls or treated as waste by the killer organization. However, because the resources that meet the conditions are relatively scarce, the killer organization generally rarely deals with the girls who are eliminated, and will give these girls a chance. In this way, 5 years have passed. The girls are all over 18 years old, and 14 people survived, less than half of the original number. And the girls ushered in the final test. After the test is completed, they will be apprentices and can leave the island. But, how many people can leave the island? The last test is a life and death fight. All the girls are both hunters and prey. They hunt each other. Within the specified time, those who can survive are considered to have passed the test. Some girls wanted to hide and wait for the test time to pass, but this was impossible. The killer organization was watching their movements. If someone really hid, they would get a volley of bullets. If they were hit by bullets, they would be game over on the spot. The original body was very unfortunate. She did not hold on until the end of the specified time. 5 minutes before the end, the original body was killed by her good friend. But that person did not hold on to the end either, and was also killed in the last 30 seconds. In the end, only 3 girls survived. These 3 girls successfully completed the apprenticeship, and their treatment changed from hell to heaven. Poor girls who died were just casually abandoned in a remote place on the edge of the island. This is already the coast, and when the tide rises, it will be submerged, and the bodies will be taken into the sea and become food for marine creatures. Su Qingni practiced the inner strength and became familiar with it, and soon got started. The wound also healed a little because of the internal force. However, the internal force is effective for healing internal injuries, but not external injuries. In order to avoid wound infection, Su Qingni still needs to go to the infirmary. As the sky gradually darkened, Su Qingni had stored a trace of internal force in her danshan. With this trace of internal force, she could use her qinggong. Although this qinggong was still a little bit of a stretch to dodge bullets, it was enough to sneak into the interior of the killer organization and avoid the sight of the people inside. As for the surveillance devices there, the girls knew every location by heart. The girls had thought about escaping from this island, but they all failed. Su Qingni had changed her location. The previous location had been submerged by the sea, and the bodies had been washed away. Su Qingni recited the rebirth mantra several times to the sea surface, hoping that the girls would be reborn in a good way in the next life and never encounter such a cruel organization again. When the moon reached the highest point in the sky, Su Qingni began to act. Her original body was wearing black tight clothes, which did not affect her movements and was more concealed in the night. Su Qingni used Qingguang to avoid the surveillance cameras and entered the organization's base camp. The base camp was a 3-story building with more than 60 rooms. The infirmary was on the left side of the 3rd floor, and Su Qingni jumped in through the window. The infirmary was divided into 2 rooms, the outer and inner rooms, and the inner room was the doctor's bedroom. This doctor was not a good person. He would touch the girls when examining their bodies and treating their wounds. It was said that he was a wanted criminal for organ trafficking. Such a person deserved death. Su Qingni put her hand on the white doctor's neck and twisted it hard. The white doctor lost his life in his sleep. Su Qingni then came to the place where the medicine bottles and medical equipment were kept, and found alcohol, gauze, trauma medicine and suturing tools. Without turning on the lights, Su Qingni's eyes could see clearly. She sutured the wound, bandaged it, and left the infirmary. Now, it's time for revenge. Such a killer organization should not stay. Su Qingni walked in the dark corridor, and the moonlight shining in from the window covered her with a layer of mysterious veil. Su Qingni was like the goddess of vengeance, reaping sinful lives. There are no innocent people on this island, and everyone's hands are stained with blood. Chapter 413 Starlight II. Su Qingni got rid of the people on the island, but what bothered her was that the top leaders of the organization, Sister Lisa, who was responsible for training them, and the 3 companions who survived the test and became killers were not on the island. They actually left in the afternoon and took away a lot of information. Nowadays, mobile phones are still big bricks, computers have not yet been popularized in every family, and the internet has just emerged. In order to keep secrets, the organization did not save a lot of information on the computer. Based on the original owner and the information found on the island, Su Qingni could not know the details of the organization, where the organization's real base camp is, who are the specific people in the organization, and how they are connected. Because of the original owner and those girls who died tragically, Su Qingni is bound to destroy the entire killer organization. But now that there is so little information, this thing is very difficult to do. On the sea, a small cargo ship broke through the water and sailed into the distance. Behind it is a small island. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and the island was blown to pieces. The whole island sank into the sea and disappeared in the vast sea. The explosion on the island silently set off huge waves, and the waves flew onto the freighter, soaking every corner of the freighter. Su Qingni wiped the seawater off her face, and a faint smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. The freighter sailed on the sea for 3 days and finally saw the coastline. Su Qingni looked at the nautical chart on the freighter and knew that this was the coast of Country T. Su Qingni was quite familiar with Country T, as her original family lived in Country T. Some of her original living habits were assimilated by the people of Country T. The original person spoke Country T better than Chinese. After landing on a remote and deserted beach, Su Qingni simply blew up the freighter without leaving any clues. She found a lot of cash on the island, all in US dollars, which is very valuable in Country T, more valuable than the local currency of Country T, and more popular with the locals. Su Qingni used money to open the way, and handled her identity at the local police station, and got the ID card and passport of Country T. During this period, she visited the original owner's home. When the original owner just disappeared, the original owner's parents and siblings reported to the police and were sad for a while because of the original owner's disappearance. But as time went by, they gradually forgot that they had such a daughter-sister. Now the family lives a good life. The sister has a boyfriend and is preparing to get married. The brother has just entered high school and his academic performance is not bad. The restaurant business is better than when the original owner disappeared. There is one less child to support, and the family's life is better. Su Qingni originally thought of leaving some of the money she looted to the original body's parents and relatives, as a way to repay her parents' kindness in raising her. But seeing that the living conditions of the original body's family are not bad, Su Qingni gave up this idea. The family is not short of money. And if a large sum of money from unknown sources suddenly appears, it may not be a blessing for this family, but it may be a disaster. After getting the passport, Su Qingni bought a plane ticket and left Country T and went to the United States. The reason for choosing this country is that this country is the most democratic, and many things will be very convenient to handle in the United States. An existence like Niangniang can be owned by ordinary citizens of the United States. Su Qingni settled in the United States and continued to search for information about the killer organization in secret. Unfortunately, the internet is not well developed nowadays, and Su Qingni's hacking skills can't play a big role. It's difficult to find information about the killer organization. Occasionally there is news, which is the police investigation after the killer organization committed a crime. It's too late to follow these investigations, and the killer has already disappeared. At this time, Su Qingni lamented that the technology in this world is too backward. If the internet and computers can be popularized and updated, it will be great. It is also this world that restricts her from using extraordinary powers. Otherwise, Su Qingni would have such troubles. It took many years to find and destroy a killer organization, but it hasn't been done yet. Hollywood is a gathering place for handsome men and beautiful women. There are famous stars here, and there are many young people who come to Hollywood to work hard for their star dreams. There are a lot of beauties here. As long as you pay a generous reward, the beauties will take the initiative to come to your door. Outside the door of the presidential suite of the hotel, a beautiful woman wearing sexy clothes and a outer figure was stopped by the bodyguard. The bodyguard scanned the beauty's body and didn't see anything she shouldn't be carrying, mainly because the beauty's clothes were few and tight. Most of her skin was exposed, and there was only a thin layer of fabric on the skin where it wasn't exposed, leaving no place to hide anything. The bodyguard passed the inspection and the beauty entered the presidential suite. After an hour, the beauty walked out of the door with slightly messy hair, smiled at the bodyguards, and left with a charming figure. The bodyguard stood guard outside the suite door, thinking that someone was resting in the room. But an hour passed, 2 hours passed, and 3 hours passed, and there was still no movement in the room. The bodyguards felt something was wrong, and hurriedly pushed open the door and walked into the room. Sure enough, their employer was dead. The police were dispatched, but unfortunately the murderer had already left. Apart from questioning some insignificant people, they couldn't find the murderer at all. Many people were watching the excitement on the side, and Su Qingni mixed in the crowd. She was late again. There was no way. She didn't know the contact of the killer organization and couldn't track their movements. She could only come here after the incident to see if there were any clues, or peek at the police's ideas for investigating the case. This way, the harvest was too small. This time, Su Qingni still didn't get too many clues. She only saw the appearance of the murderer from the hotel's surveillance video and recognized that she was one of the 3 girls who survived. Su Qingni remembered the names of these 3 people. The murderer this time was called Jessica, a blonde girl with sweet appearance like an angel, but she was the most ruthless of all the girls. 1/3 of the girls who trained together died in her hands. The other 2 girls were called Sharon and Qiaozai. They were good friends, real good friends. They were able to survive to the end because of the support of the 2 of them. They grew up together, childhood sweethearts, and had a good relationship and trusted each other. This trust did not change because of the cruel and twisted life on the island. The relationship between these 2 people was the only beautiful existence on that island. It's just that the killer organization would not allow such an existence. I don't know how these 2 people have been after so many years. Are they still alive? Su Qingni turned and left, and was about to cross the road, when suddenly a car turned around a corner and rushed towards Su Qingni. I wish you all a happy Chinese New Year, a happy family, and good health. Chapter 414 Starlight III. The car was swerving, and it was rushing towards her at a speed that was neither fast nor slow. An ordinary person would have found it difficult to avoid it. Su Qingni stretched out a hand to hold the front of the car, and then the strength in her hand soared into the air, and she flipped over in midair. The roof of the car brushed past Su Qingni's scalp and rushed out, hitting the window of a shop nearby. Su Qingni's body flipped another 180 degrees and landed steadily on the ground. Kung Fu. Passers-by were all amazed when they saw Su Qingni's move. Among them was a middle-aged man with a big beard, whose eyes lit up, and he left his companions and rushed towards Su Qingni. "It's you are the second female lead in my movie," the middle-aged man with a big beard said to Su Qingni. Su Qingni, sir, I'm not an actor. The bearded middle-aged man, it doesn't matter. If you're not an actor now, you will be one in the future. Didn't you come to Hollywood to be an actor? Su Qingni, I came to Hollywood for tourism. The bearded middle-aged man. The bearded middle-aged man, madam, do you know who I am? Su Qingni looked at the bearded middle-aged man and shook her head. The bearded middle-aged man. Isn't he a world-renowned director? How come someone doesn't know him? It seems that he is not as famous as he thought. The middle-aged man introduced himself. I am Tim Morse, a director. I have directed films such as Fleet 9, 0 Hour Train, and Atlantis. Have you seen them? I have. Su Qingni also watches movies and TV in her spare time to kill time and relieve boredom. Nowadays, the internet is not well developed, and there are only stand-alone games. Watching movies is the first choice for many people. Especially with the existence of Hollywood, people in the United States love to watch movies very much. Su Qingni had seen the movies that Tim Morse mentioned, all of which were science fiction movies. And through these movies, Su Qingni finally knew who Tim Morse was. He was a big Hollywood commercial film director who loved to shoot science fiction movies the most, and of course, he would shoot movies of other themes as well. His science fiction movies were very profitable and had high box office, and his art films helped him win 2 Oscars. He was a very talented director. Hello, Mr. Morse. I have seen all your movies. They are very well made, and you are a very good director. Su Qingni politely extended her hand to shake hands with Tim Morse. Tim Morse smiled and said that it was good enough that she had seen his movies, so that he would be more confident in convincing the girl in front of him to join his crew. Beautiful lady, it's like this, I am shooting a movie now. Your image and your skills are very suitable for the second female lead in my new movie. I would like to invite you to join my crew and play the second female lead in the movie. Sorry, I'm not an actor and I don't want to act. Su Qingni refused without thinking. Oh, Mom, don't refuse so quickly, at least consider it. Tim Morse said hurriedly, filmmaking is fun, and playing another person is a very novel experience. Don't you want to experience it? The most important thing is that you will become a star by starring in my movie. Not only will you have money, but you will also have fame and social status. How wonderful. Are you really not tempted at all? Not tempted. Su Qingni wanted to reject Tim Morse like this, but when the words came to her lips, a thought suppressed the words. If she became a star, she would often appear in front of the public, and the people in the assassin organization would definitely see her. Others might not recognize her face, but Sister Lisa would definitely recognize her. Sister Lisa was a cautious person, and since she had blown up the training base of the assassin organization, Sister Lisa would definitely suspect that she was supposed to be dead, and she might even link her to the bombing of the island. She was a traitor and a huge threat to the assassin organization. The assassin organization would definitely want to eliminate her as a threat. Then, there is no need to chase the killer organization by yourself. Just make 1 or 2 movies, wait for the killer organization to come to you. I agreed. Su Qingni said. Huh? Tim Morse, who was talking about the benefits of acting, was stunned. After reacting, he jumped up happily and pulled Su Qingni to audition. Although she was originally Asian, she has 1/16 of Portuguese blood in her body. Her facial features are more profound and three-dimensional than those of ordinary Oriental women, and her skin is also whiter. With a change of hair color and eye color, she looks not much different from foreign beauties. Su Qingni was pulled by the stylist and makeup artist to do a styling. When she appeared in front of Tim Morse again, his eyes were brighter, and the screenwriter and assistant director beside him kept nodding. In terms of appearance, Su Qingni won the recognition of several crew bosses who could make the decision. Then, at the request of Tim Morse, Su Qingni showed her skills and conquered everyone in the crew. In terms of acting skills and camera sense, Su Qingni did not make them worry. Su Qingni has played many roles in real life, and her acting skills are top-notch. Tim Morse felt that he had discovered a genius, an unpolished diamond. This was his luck, and he would be the one to polish this diamond. Tim Morse's eyes sparkled, and Su Qingni shivered under his stare, thinking that it seemed a hasty decision to agree to Tim Morse's film. But it was too late to regret now. Su Qingni had already signed a contract with a crew under Tim Morse's tight supervision. This great director also introduced an agent to Su Qingni very enthusiastically, and called the agent named Shaun White to the set all the way, and became a witness himself, so that Shaun White and Su Qingni signed an economic contract. This economic contract has relatively broad requirements for agents and artists. This is a contract that Morse hinted White to draft. The well-informed director only had contact with Su Qingni for a few hours and saw that Su Qingni did not like to be constrained. White trusted Morse, his old friend, and trusted his vision even more, so he chose the most extensive contract. Su Qingni felt the kindness of the two and was grateful to them. Originally, she just wanted to make a few movies, and then stop making movies after the killer organizations were exposed and destroyed. But now, Su Qingni thought she could stay in the entertainment industry for a longer time. At least until she won an Oscar and gave back to White, so that this agent could realize his dream and become the top agent in Hollywood. Chapter 415 Starlight 4. Morse's new movie is very similar to the famous The Matrix on Earth. The plot also takes place in the virtual world. Su Qingni plays the second female role, which is similar to Trinity in The Matrix. She finds the male protagonist, makes him realize the truth of the world, and fights with him. Su Qingni doesn't have many scenes in this movie, but according to Morse, this movie is only the first one. There will be a second and third part. The role of Su Qingni's character will increase in the latter two parts, and she may become the heroine. The crew has been set up, and Morse started filming 10 days later. Morse's movies are very popular, and many stars want to participate in his movies. Therefore, there are many big names in the crew. The male and female protagonists are top Hollywood stars, and even the supporting roles are all second-tier stars. Su Qingni, a newcomer who has no fame at all, has become the focus of everyone's discussion. Everyone is privately discussing what the relationship between Su Qingni and Morse is, or what background Su Qingni has, otherwise Morse will give such an important role to a newcomer. No one came forward to greet Su Qingni. Everyone was watching, wanting to see how Su Qingni performed during the filming, wanting to observe Su Qingni more, to see if she had a big background, to see if she was worth making friends with. From the outside, these people in the entertainment industry, who are all kinds of people, can't judge what kind of person Su Qingni is. They only saw that Su Qingni should not be short of money, but she was a little careless. She wore a high-end watch worth millions of dollars on her hand, played the latest computer, but wore street goods worth only a few dozen yuan. After a few days, Su Qingni conquered everyone in the crew with her acting skills and strong skills, and everyone gradually became enthusiastic about her. "Hi, Nora, what are you doing?" Daphne Belloc, who played the leading role, walked over to Su Qingni and sat down. Daphne Belloc is a famous sweetheart in Hollywood. She looks sweet but has a hot body, which attracts men's attention. She often plays some vase-like roles, but her acting skills are pretty good, and she is not really a vase. "I'm playing games." Su Qingni slightly moved the computer screen so that Daphne could see the screen. Su Qingni was wary of this vase beauty. This one was not as harmless as she appeared to be. Su Qingni felt a dark aura from Daphne. "Want to play?" Su Qingni asked with a smile. "No, I'm not interested in computer games." Daphne waved her hand and said, "Sydney invited you to dinner, why didn't you accept?" Sidney Babbitt is the male lead of this movie. He is very handsome and famous at a young age. He is already a world-class star at the age of 30. His experience is very similar to that of Leo on Earth. He made his debut in commercials at the age of 14, but became famous in his early 20s for starring in a commercial blockbuster by Morse. He became popular all over the world with his handsome appearance and became the dream lover of girls as young as 6 and old ladies in their 80s. Now in his early 30s, Sidney has added a mature charm to his handsomeness. It can be said that he has reached the peak of his appearance. Even Su Qingni thinks that this person is very pleasing to the eye. When she has nothing to do, she will look at Sidney more often and appreciate his beauty. You know, when she was still an ordinary person, she liked Leo's face very much. Unfortunately, Leo got fat in middle age and became ugly. Alice, since ancient times, good generals are like beauties, and they are not allowed to see white hair in the world. Why did you agree? Su Qingni asked back. Sidney pursues you, and you are not moved. Sidney is too fickle, I don't like it. Su Qingni said. This Sidney is a famous fickle young man. Oh, you Orientals are too conservative. Daphne said exaggeratedly, and Su Qingni could see the joy in her eyes. Su Qingni said, you like Sidney, why don't you take the initiative to pursue him? Daphne's joy disappeared, and her expression was a little gloomy. Who said I like him? Su Qingni tilted her head and looked at Daphne. Don't you like Sidney? Daphne snorted coldly, didn't say anything, and got up and left. Su Qingni looked at her leaving back, her lips curled up. Hey, Nora, how about we go have a drink together after work? Daphne just opened the door, and another person came over. It was the actor of the villain boss of this movie, Brandon Dodd. A man in his 40s, not married yet, and also a playboy. The relationship between foreign men and women and their views on marriage have led to a large number of playboys and princesses here, especially in the entertainment industry, where there are too many chaotic relationships between men and women. Sorry, I have something to do after work. Su Qingni rejected Brandon outright. She didn't like this middle-aged man who looked like a disfigured Leo. Even if she wanted to have fun, she would only look for handsome guys like Sydney. Why do you have something to do after work? Brandon smiled and vented his dissatisfaction. Do you have other jobs besides acting? Yes, acting is just my part-time job. Oh, then what is your main job? Brandon asked. Su Qingni raised her head and stared at Brandon with cold eyes, her face full of murderous intent. Kill. I'm a killer. The sharp murderous intent rushed towards him, frightening Brandon so much that he suddenly fell back, and fell to the ground with a stool. Su Qingni chuckled, and the murderous intent on her face disappeared. She smiled and said to Brandon, I was just kidding you, are you okay? No, I'm fine. Brandon got up with lingering fear and said to Su Qingni, your acting is really good, I'm really scared by you. Su Qingni smiled and didn't reply. Maybe he felt bored or was really scared. Brandon left embarrassedly, and never asked Su Qingni out again. There were more people in the crew, and there were more right and wrong and intrigues, but everything involving Su Qingni was easily resolved by her. The people in the crew saw that Su Qingni was not easy to mess with, and they no longer messed with Su Qingni. This made White very happy, and he was glad that he had a partner like Su Qingni. The fact that Su Qingni handled the surrounding things so easily showed her means and abilities. Such a Su Qingni is very suitable for the entertainment industry and can go further in the entertainment industry. Just like that, 3 months passed, and the film was about to be wrapped up. There were only scenes for the male lead, the second female lead, and several other supporting roles. The filming could be completed in a week. However, just when Su Qingni was about to pack her clothes to go home, something happened on the crew. The male and female lead were kidnapped. I wish you all Pepsi Cola and everything goes well in the new year. Chapter 416 Starlight 5. Daphne's kidnapping didn't have much impact on the crew. Her scenes were all over, but the male lead scenes were not over yet. Morse was so anxious that he got angry, but he didn't dare to call the police because the person who kidnapped the two was not simple. Sydney deserved it this time. He knew that Daphne was a woman who should not be messed with, but he still slept with her. He deserved to be kidnapped. Braden said with some gloating, this time our Playboy Club will lose another member. Does Daphne have any powerful background? Su Qingni asked Braden. You don't know. Su Qingni shook her head. She didn't care about celebrities. Daphne was just a stranger to her, and she didn't want to know more about her, even though she felt the same dark aura on Daphne. Braden leaned close to Su Qingni's ear and explained to her, Daphne is Justin Wolf's mistress. Su Qingni. Braden showed an exaggerated expression of surprise. You don't even know who Justin Wolf is, do you? Su Qingni raised her eyebrows. Is he famous? Yes, he is famous, but his name can scare children to cry at night. Braden said, your family must have protected you very well so that you haven't heard of this name. Su Qingni was curious, can you tell me what this person does? Justin Wolf is the boss of the New York gang and the godfather of the underworld. Godfather? Su Qingni couldn't help but give Sydney a thumbs up. He actually seduced the woman of the gangster godfather. Is this looking for death or looking for death? However, Daphne should not be just Justin Wolf's mistress. I'm afraid she herself is also from the gang. Daphne had killed people before, and her murderous aura had disappeared a lot in her star career over the years, but the remaining murderous intent could not be hidden from Su Qingni. Not to mention that Su Qingni was an ordinary person. Even if the original owner was still there, it could not be hidden from the original owner. After all, the original owner was trained as a reserve for top killers. Su Qingni treated this matter as gossip and did not care, but the development of the matter still involved Su Qingni. However, this time when she was involved, Su Qingni encountered a surprise. Daphne was indeed a Su Qingni guest. In addition to being the mistress of the godfather, she also had a high status in the gang. This time the godfather took action to teach Daphne and Sydney a lesson. Daphne's punishment was not serious, but it hurt her face, which made Daphne feel uncomfortable and wanted to find someone to vent, and Morse and the producer who were brought to plead with Wolf ran into the gun. Daphne took her anger out on Morse and the crew, thinking that if she had not participated in Morse's movie, she would not have been unable to resist hooking Sydney up. But she didn't think about the fact that the reason she acted in this movie was because she heard that Morse chose Sydney as the male lead, so she relied on means to win the female lead. She couldn't help herself. Could she blame others? But Daphne attributed the mistake to Morse and even the entire crew. Not only did she tie up Morse and the producer, she also asked her men to tie up some people in the crew who she didn't like or who offended her during the filming, including Su Qingni, who told her that the man she liked didn't like her at first, but Su Qingni. Su Qingni was taken to the villa where she lived by Daphne's men. Morse and the producer were also in the villa, but Sydney was not there. No one knew where he was imprisoned, and no one knew whether he was still alive. Daphne was wearing a tight leather jacket and holding a whip in her hand. She wanted to beat people for fun when she thought about it. Everyone in the crew trembled and hid behind Su Qingni. Because Su Qingni's flexible skills during the filming made everyone regard her as their only support now. Daphne flicked the whip and said to Su Qingni, "You are really good at fighting. I will whip you with a whip. Can you dodge it?" Su Qingni was thinking, should she reveal her true strength? Should she kill someone? Shakespeare said, "This is a question." Seeing that the whip was about to fall on her, Su Qingni was about to move. She couldn't be whipped just because she didn't want to reveal too much, right? At this time, a man broke into the villa and shouted to Daphne, "Stop playing, the boss is in trouble." "What happened? What happened?" Daphne asked hurriedly with a flash of joy in her eyes. "Someone assassinated the boss. Fortunately, Jason was smart and stopped the female killer. The boss asked us to go to see him quickly," the man said. Daphne's eyes flashed with disappointment. Why didn't he die? That killer is too useless. Daphne dropped the whip, took a few men and followed the man away, ignoring the crew who were left in the living room. Her villa is located inside the organization, and outside are all the organization's people. She is not afraid that the crew will escape. If they dare to run out, what awaits them is the bullets of the patrolmen. Sure enough, the people in the crew breathed a sigh of relief but did not think about leaving. Su Qingni glanced at everyone and said to Morse, "You wait here, I will go out to see the situation." "Don't go out, it's too dangerous." Morse quickly organized Su Qingni. "Don't worry, I'm good at fighting and won't be discovered by people outside." Su Qingni comforted Morse and left Daphne's villa very quickly. Outside are all the black gang members holding wooden warehouses. They are running, looking for someone. Su Qingni hid in the shadows, seized the gaps those people were looking for, and approached the villa in the center little by little. That villa is Wolf's residence. Su Qingni judged that the assassin who assassinated Wolf was not too far away from him, and must still be nearby, waiting for the opportunity to kill him with one strike. Ask Su Qingni why she thinks so? Because that's what the assassin organization requires of their subordinates. The original owner had lived for many years listening to such dogma and was almost brainwashed. When the man told Daphne about a female assassin who assassinated Wolf, Su Qingni had a feeling that this female assassin should be someone she knew. Su Qingni avoided all the people who were chasing the female assassin, came to the outside of Wolf's villa, found an empty house, and climbed in through the window. As soon as she entered the house, Su Qingni felt a cold wind with murderous intent coming towards her. Su Qingni leaned back to avoid the dagger stabbing at her throat, raised her right hand and grabbed the hand holding the dagger. She turned her head to look at the person holding the dagger. The familiar face, the iconic red hair and green eyes, was Sharon, one of the 3 female assassins who successfully graduated. "It's you." Sharon was shocked when she saw Su Qingni's face clearly. Chapter 417 Starlight 6. Long time no see, Sharon. Su Qingni smiled and called back Sharon. "It's you, you're not dead. Did you destroy the training base?" Sharon quickly regained her composure, but the shock and confusion on her face did not subside. "It was me." Su Qingni admitted readily. "Who do you think destroyed it, Sister Lisa?" Su Qingni withdrew her hand while speaking. Sharon also stopped moving and took 2 steps back. Su Qingni gestured to her, and the 2 of them sat on a chair, about 3 meters apart. Although Sharon sat down, her muscles were tense and she was on guard. Su Qingni was much more relaxed. She leaned back in her chair and said, "Sister Lisa, do you think that another force destroyed the training base?" Sharon nodded. "We thought that except for me, Qiaozai and Jessica, all the other girls were dead. After all, Sister Lisa had people check the bodies of the girls in detail. If they were still breathing, Sister Lisa might have people treat them. After all, it costs too much to train a qualified killer. I just didn't expect that you were so good at pretending to be dead that you could hide it from everyone. Over the years, Sister Lisa has been tracking down which force destroyed the base, consuming a lot of manpower and material resources, but without any results. Some people in the organization are already dissatisfied with Sister Lisa, but the base was built by Sister Lisa, and she attaches great importance to it. She will not stop until she finds out who destroyed the base. Thank you. Su Qingni felt Sharon's kindness. The girl revealed a lot of information to Su Qingni in a few words, and reminded Su Qingni implicitly that it would be better to hide and not be discovered by Sister Lisa. Why are you here? Sharon asked Su Qingni. She saw that Su Qingni was not Wolf's man. Could it be that Su Qingni continued to work as a killer and came to kill Wolf? Su Qingni said, I am now an actor and filming a movie. The crew offended Wolf's mistress and all of them were arrested. Sharon was shocked. You want to be an actor? Don't you want to live? If you appear in front of the public, you will be discovered by Sister Lisa. Su Qingni chuckled. I originally entered the entertainment industry with the idea of being discovered by her. Sharon was not a stupid person. She understood it immediately. You still want to kill Sister Lisa? Su Qingni said, not only her, but all the high-level people in the killer organization deserve to die. Sharon took a breath. She didn't expect that Su Qingni's goal was to destroy the entire killer organization. You only have one person. Sharon murmured. Then do you want to help me? Su Qingni said, add Qiaozai, and we will destroy the killer organization together. No, Sharon refused, but there was hesitation in her words. Su Qingni said, you and Qiaozai don't want to be killers forever, right? You two have good intentions in your hearts and don't like killing. Instead of being controlled by the organization as a killing tool and not knowing when you will be killed, it's better to help me destroy the killer organization. Then you and Qiaozai will be free and live whatever life you want. Sharon was moved and wanted to agree to Su Qingni. But in the end, Sharon refused. Su Qingni could understand. The psychological shadow brought by the killer organization was too great, like a mountain pressing on Sharon and Qiaozai, and they dared not resist. I won't tell Sister Lisa about what I saw you today. Sharon said. Su Qingni smiled. It doesn't matter if you tell her. After the movie is released, she will still know that I am still alive. Sharon frowned. You are simply overestimating your own abilities and falling into a trap. You have no idea how powerful the organization is. Even I only know the tip of the iceberg. Then tell me the tip you know. Su Qingni said, I will not drag you to fight against the organization together. You just need to provide me with some information. Even if I can't fight against the organization and die, it won't implicate you and Qiaozai. Sharon bit her lip and was silent for a long time. She told Su Qingni some contact channels of the killer organization and some information about peripheral personnel. Thank you. Su Qingni was happy. With this information, she could pull out the radish and bring out the mud, and pull out a thread to pull out a huge network. As a thank you, I will help you complete this mission and help you escape by the way. Thank you. Sharon paused and asked, who did your crew offend? Daphne Belloc. She is Justin Wolf's mistress and a popular star. Su Qingni said with a smile. She understood why Sharon asked this question. Sharon nodded, indicating that she understood. The two sat in the room for a while, and Su Qingni asked Sharon for the map and information of this area. Sharon took on this task and naturally investigated the environment where Wolf was. She believed and told Su Qingni everything she knew. Su Qingni and Sharon made a plan and prepared to act. Sharon left the room first, and Su Qingni took out a mobile phone from her arms. This mobile phone was assembled by her. The appearance was the same as the mobile phones sold outside, but the internal parts were indeed made by Su Qingni herself, and the functions were almost the same as those of smartphones in the 21st century. Su Qingni used her mobile phone to connect to the network of this area, invaded the monitoring system of the villa area, and cut off the monitoring system of the entire area. Without the monitoring system, Sharon's actions were more convenient. Although her skills were not as good as Su Qingni's, they were also top-notch. Sharon went to Wolf's side, cut Wolf's throat with a fruit knife, and fled with Wolf's wooden warehouse. Wolf's men were in a mess because of his death. Some of them really wanted to kill Shaolin, while some of them had already started thinking about how to fight for power. The disunity gave Shaolin a chance to escape. Su Qingni had been lurking in the dark, and when she saw Shaolin in danger, she would help her until Shaolin successfully escaped. Su Qingni did it secretly, and no one except Shaolin knew that Shaolin had helpers. When Shalin escaped, she met Daphne and took care of her. Su Qingni returned to Daphne's villa. There were no more Black Gang members in the villa, but the crew still did not dare to leave. Nora, thank God, you are finally back. Morse said God bless, ran to Su Qingni's side, and asked anxiously, what happened outside? It sounds more chaotic than before. Su Qingni said, Justin Wolf is dead. Justin Wolf is dead. The crew screamed, all in disbelief. They were not as ignorant as Su Qingni. They knew the name of Justin Wolf. How could such a famous person die? Chapter 418 Starlight 7. Then what should we do? The producer grabbed his hair and said fearfully, will those people take their anger out on us and kill us? No. Su Qingni comforted the people who were uneasy because of this sentence. After all, you are all people with some reputation, they won't kill you. And the person who arrested us was Daphne, and now she is dead, no one will bother us anymore. Daphne is dead. Everyone was surprised. Su Qingni nodded, she was unlucky, she met the escaped killer and was killed by him. Everyone was happy. Sure enough, after half a day, someone drove the crew out of the villa complex. Although the villa complex was far away from the city and there were few cars passing by nearby, everyone could only walk back on their legs, but everyone did not complain, and happily supported each other to drive the number 11 bus on the long road. Everyone walked until their legs were sore, and finally a freight truck passed by. Everyone hurriedly stopped it and climbed into the truck bed behind the truck to become neighbors with a truck full of chickens and ducks. These gentlemen and ladies who have always been well dressed did not mind the dirty chicken and duck shit, and all slumped on the cardboard, feeling lucky to have escaped. We should thank the female killer the most. Morse sighed, if she hadn't killed Wolf and Daphne, I don't know how many of us would have survived. Everyone nodded like chicks pecking at rice, agreeing with Morse's words. Brandon pinched his chin and said, the female killer who can successfully get close to Wolf must be a great beauty, right? It's a pity that I don't have the luck to see her. The producer rolled his eyes at him and said, if you see her, you might be dead and killed to silence her. Brandon chuckled and turned to ask Su Qingni, Nora, have you seen the female killer? How is her skill? Compared with yours, who is better? Su Qingni also rolled her eyes at him, I'm not a killer. Brandon chuckled, I think your temperament is quite like a killer. If you play a killer, you will definitely be able to play the killer alive. Morse clapped his hands and said, not bad. This is a good idea. I have decided that the next movie will be a movie with a killer as the protagonist. Nora, you are the heroine. Everyone else smiled and thanked Su Qingni when they heard this. Su Qingni smiled and sighed in her heart. The murderous aura on her body and the habits cultivated in training and fighting did not disappear with the disappearance of her original body, but still remained on this body. I did everything as I pleased, without much concealment, and some people with keen senses saw it. However, they just thought that Su Qingni was different from most girls, with a cold and hard temperament, and they didn't think that she was really a killer. Everyone finally returned to the city with the truck, and then went home to take care of themselves and have a good rest. The experience of this day was too much, and it made people physically and mentally exhausted, and they just wanted to have a good sleep. I didn't want to call the police. Wolf's subordinates were powerful, and even the FBI couldn't do anything about them. This kidnapping incident had to be left unresolved. 3 days after everyone came back, Sydney was also released. Wolf's successor has been determined, and the winner is one of Wolf's adopted sons, whose parents died because of Wolf. This man followed Wolf to wait for an opportunity to take revenge. He would secretly protect those who Wolf wanted to kill and secretly oppose Wolf. It was he who saved Sydney and released Sydney after he came to power again. After this incident, Sydney no longer dared to be as unscrupulous as before in matters between men and women. He restrained himself a lot. Although he was still fickle, he had a sense of propriety. The crew took a good rest for a week and then started working again. After filming the last few scenes, the movie was finished. There is still a lot of follow-up work to come, and it is estimated that it will not be released until half a year later. During this period, Su Qingni entered a TV crew as a guest star under the introduction of Brayden. TV series are not like movies. They can be broadcast after filming one episode. So, a week later, the episode in which Su Qingni made a guest appearance was broadcast on TV. Su Qingni didn't know whether Sister Lisa had seen that episode of the TV series. Anyway, she didn't ask White to help her get a job. Now that she is not famous, she can't get any good jobs, So it's better not to take them. With a lot of free time, Su Qingni started to deal with the killer organization based on the information given to her by Sharon. This organization is very large. The killers such as Sharon and the training base established by Sister Lisa are only a small part of the entire organization. There are other killers in the organization, and there should not be too many branches. Su Qingni destroyed 2 training bases that looked like small islands and handed over the people on the islands to the FBI. The FBI had noticed this organization a long time ago and had been investigating it for years. However, the people in the organization were cunning and the FBI had not caught their tail. Su Qingni offered people and related clues, and they acted quickly and followed the clues. In 2 months, half of the organization was destroyed. Sister Lisa was almost caught by the FBI, but fortunately she was smart and escaped. Like everyone else, she thought there was a traitor in the organization and had been investigating who the traitor was during this period. However, there was no effect, and everyone's suspicion was ruled out. Sharon clenched her hands into fists, with excitement and admiration in her heart. She didn't expect Su Qingni to be so capable. She just told Su Qingni some inside information, and Su Qingni was able to track down most of the organization's bases, cooperate with the FBI, and force Sister Lisa and a group of high-level organizations like dogs who had lost their homes. Can she really get rid of the organization with Qiaozai and live freely under the blue sky? What are you thinking about? Sister Lisa's voice came into Sharon's ears. Sharon was startled and quickly answered, I'm thinking about who are the suspicious people. Have you thought of that? Sister Lisa asked. Sharon shook her head. Sister Lisa sighed, you haven't even recognized all the people in the organization. How can you think of who is suspicious? Go down, have a good rest, and go out to do the mission the day after tomorrow. You still have to go on a mission at this time. Qiaozai beside Sharon was surprised. Sister Lisa rolled her eyes unhappily. The organization has suffered serious losses. If we don't make money by doing missions, how can we survive? Qiaozai pouted her lips, and she was very reluctant to go on a mission. Going on a mission at this time is much more dangerous than before. Who knows if the mission is a trap set by the FBI? But although she didn't want to say it in her heart, Sister Lisa usually seems to be kind to them, but this woman is cruel and ruthless. If they really anger her, they will not have a good time. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 419 Starlight 8. Sister Lisa was upset, so she waved her hand to send the people away, and turned on the TV to relieve her upset. She randomly chose a TV station, which was playing a rerun of a TV series. This series is quite interesting. Sister Lisa will watch it when she is free, but she didn't pursue it. Anyway, this TV series is also a sitcom, 1 episode and 1 story. Sister Lisa was watching the TV series, and suddenly, a familiar face came into her eyes. Sister Lisa's eyes widened. Sister Lisa has a good memory. Over the years, she remembers the appearance of every girl who entered the island base for training clearly. After all, everyone was selected by her personally. The face on TV looked like someone she knew, and she could confirm that it was that person. She was not dead. I think the island base was also destroyed by her. I didn't expect that I was wrong and was deceived by such a little girl. This girl's ability is probably stronger than the 3 Jessicas. It's really like hunting geese all day, and the geese pecked your eyes. Sister Lisa picked up the phone and called Jessica and the other 2 one by one, calling them back. Sister Lisa, what's the matter with calling us back? Jessica asked with a smile, looking as beautiful as an angel. Sister Lisa's face was like ice. She scanned the 3 people from top to bottom coldly and said, do you remember Nora Su? Sharon's heart skipped a beat. Sister Lisa found Su Qingni so quickly? Her movie hasn't been released yet, right? Sharon's heart was beating wildly, but she didn't show any expression on the surface. Jessica blinked and said, Nora? Remember, she was killed by her companions during the last trial. I killed her companions and avenged her. She's not dead. Sister Lisa said, turned on the TV and played the recorded footage to the 3 people. The camera froze, and Su Qingni's face was enlarged on the screen. People who knew her recognized her at a glance. It's really Nora, she's not dead. Jessica said in surprise. Qiaozai was also surprised. Her heart was pierced by a dagger, but she was still alive. Sister Lisa said, it must be that her heart is naturally different from others. Jessica said, she did what happened on the island. Sister Lisa, except her, there would be no one else. Jessica said, no, she shouldn't be that powerful alone, otherwise she wouldn't have died in the assessment. Sister Lisa, what do you mean? Jessica said, Sister Lisa, I suspect that the island was destroyed by some organization, and she saved Nora by the way. She should not have the ability to destroy the island. Lisa nodded when she heard it. Who knows, this time the FBI's targeting of us is also related to this organization. Jessica asked, Sister Lisa, you called us here to let us get rid of Nora. Yes. Sister Lisa looked at Su Qingni on the screen and said, since she should have died, why should she continue to live? Wait until your mission is completed and then go and get rid of her. I will find out her whereabouts as soon as possible and tell you. Yes. The three girls agreed and left Sister Lisa's room. Sharon did not go back to her room, but followed Josie to her room. The two had a good relationship and sometimes slept in the same bed. Sharon's move to Josie's room did not arouse other people's suspicion. Sharon, what do you want to tell me? Josie asked. As good sisters who grew up together, Josie would be able to find out immediately if Sharon was a little bit wrong. Sharon pulled Josie to sit on the bed and whispered, Josie, this is her chance to get rid of the organization and gain freedom. What? Josie's eyes widened. Sharon leaned over Josie's ear and told her in detail about how she met Su Qingni. Josie's eyes lit up. So, Nora was the one who helped the FBI destroy those strongholds of the organization. Sharon nodded. Nora is living a good life now. She is an actress and can walk freely in the sun. How great it is. Yes, how great it is. Josie sighed enviously. I want to be like her. The two sisters looked at each other and made a decision in their hearts. Su Qingni received the email from Sharon, chuckled, deleted the email, and helped the sender to clear the traces. A few days later, Su Qingni drove out of the city for a spontaneous trip. When the car reached a mountain road, the brakes suddenly failed. Su Qingni could only open the door and jump out of the out-of-control car. The car rushed out of the cliff and fell down. There was an explosion and a huge flame. Su Qingni had just stood still when a bullet was shot at her. Su Qingni hurriedly dodged to the side to avoid the bullet. I'm so lucky that I can't die like this. As she spoke, three tall and hot women in tight leather jackets appeared from three directions and surrounded Su Qingni. Su Qingni looked at the woman who was speaking, smiled faintly, and greeted, Jessica, long time no see, you are still as cruel as ever. Jessica smiled and responded, long time no see, you have changed a lot. I think the comfortable life has made you dull. Su Qingni smiled and said, if I don't act a little dull, how can I lure you out? Live me out? Come to me to die. Jessica sneered. Su Qingni shook her head, I am alive and well, and I will live well in the future, for a long time, how can I die? Jessica, this is not up to you. Su Qingni chuckled and said, you said, since I escaped from the killer organization, why don't I hide and live my own life? Why do I have to be an actor and let you and Sister Lisa find out that I am not dead yet? Jessica's heart skipped a beat and she became alert. Yes, it is unreasonable for Su Qingni to appear in front of people so high profile. Su Qingni explained to her, that's because I wanted to lure you out, to kill you and Sister Lisa, and to avenge the other girls. This time Jessica heard that Su Qingni only mentioned her and Sister Lisa, not Sharon and Qiaozai. She looked at Sharon and Qiaozai fiercely, and said angrily, you betrayed Sister Lisa. Sharon said lightly, I have never been loyal, so how can I talk about betrayal? Qiaozai and I don't want to be killers, and we don't want to be controlled by others all our lives. We just want to live our own lives freely. So you have colluded with each other for a long time. Jessica suddenly realized. Su Qingni smiled and said, it's not collusion, but we all have the same wish. But you are not on the same path as us. You are an angel on the outside, but a devil on the inside. You should have taken off this skin and returned to hell to be judged. Chapter 420 Starlight 9. Su Qingni did not make a move. It was Sharon and Qiaozai who teamed up to kill Jessica. Jessica was a complete killer. She had no good intentions in her heart. Not only did she kill people, but even her companions Sharon and Qiaozai had been killed by Jessica. The two had long had the idea of killing Jessica. Jessica was a lunatic, a capable lunatic. If they did not kill Jessica, even if the killer organization was destroyed and they regained their freedom, their lives would not be really peaceful. Sharon tricked Sister Lisa out, and they teamed up to ambush Sister Lisa. Sister Lisa did not come alone. She was very smart, and very suspicious. When Lisa received Sharon's call, she became suspicious of Sharon. When she came to the appointment, Sister Lisa brought several men. If there were only Sharon and Qiaozai, they would only be counter-calculated by Sister Lisa this time, and they would not be able to kill Sister Lisa but would be killed by Sister Lisa. But they had Su Qingni as a collaborator, and the situation was reversed. Su Qingni killed Sister Lisa herself to avenge the dead girls and the families who lost their daughters. After that, Sharon and Josie left. Su Qingni got more information about the killer organization from Sister Lisa, and packed it all to the FBI, and also cleared the traces so that the FBI could not find her. After doing all this, Su Qingni waited for the killer organization to be completely destroyed. Su Qingni poured herself a glass of wine, sat in front of the French window, and looked at the bright lights in the window with a relaxed expression. There was a knock on the door. Su Qingni was too lazy to get up, and said, "Come in." White pushed the door open and walked in. Seeing Su Qingni's lazy and comfortable appearance, he smiled and said, "You can only be lazy now. In a few days, Digital World will be released, and you will be busy." Su Qingni raised her eyebrows and said, "It will be released so soon." White picked up the bottle and poured himself a glass of wine. He sat opposite Su Qingni and said, "The Saturn Award invited Morse." The Saturn Award is an annual film and television award held by the American Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy and Horror Films. In the field of science fiction movies, it is very authoritative. Su Qingni said, "Hasn't Morse won several Saturn Awards?" White said, "The main reason is that there are no outstanding films this year. The person in charge of the Saturn Awards knows that Morse is shooting another science fiction movie, so he wants Morse to have the movie released quickly, so as to avoid a nomination list being too ugly when the Saturn Awards are held next year." Su Qingni, "Have you decided on the release date?" White said, "It's confirmed, on the 22nd of next month. Next Monday, you will follow Morse to promote it." Su Qingni said, "I'm a newcomer, no one knows me, why should I promote it?" White spread his hands, "There's no way, who told me that the heroine is dead?" Su Qingni, "This matter is a big publicity gimmick." White said helplessly, "With Daphne Bellick's identity, Morse dare not use her death as a gimmick. The person is already dead, what's there to be afraid of? Although she is dead, she still has friends and subordinates. Who knows if those people will vent their anger for her? I don't think so. There is an old Chinese saying, when people leave, the tea gets cold. Will Daphne have friends who are sincere to her? As for her subordinates, they have been divided up by other forces long ago, right?" White said, "In any case, we should be cautious." He handed Su Qingni his notebook, which contained Su Qingni's schedule for the next week. After reading it, Su Qingni said that there was nothing that needed to be changed. In the following days, Su Qingni became busy and participated in several talk shows with the director. She was a strange face and was very low-key in the show. She rarely spoke and did not leave a deep impression on people. But after the movie was released, everyone began to notice Su Qingni. Her beautiful skills conquered young people and became their idol. Her acting skills were appreciated by people in the entertainment industry, and some directors invited White to audition after watching her performance. Su Qingni became famous overnight, but no one would bother Su Qingni who appeared in public now. Halfway through the movie, the killer organization was completely destroyed, and no one knew that Su Qingni had any connection with this killer organization. Su Qingni was not too happy after hearing the news. The killer organization was destroyed, but the people behind the scenes who controlled the killer organization still existed. They abandoned the exposed killer organization and some other forces to save the more important forces. The power of the organization behind the scenes is very large. Even Su Qingni only investigated and dealt with the killer organization and a part of the related ones. She still has no clue about the others. The revolution has not yet succeeded, and comrades still need to work hard. Su Qingni said this to herself and put on a beautiful evening dress. She was about to attend the celebration party of the movie. As expected of Morse's work, the box office of this movie was a big hit again, and it entered the top 3 of the annual total box office. If no movie breaks the record of the film next, then Digiworld will be the #1 box office of this year. Su Qingni walked on the red carpet. Is this the first time she has walked the red carpet? I can't count it anymore. There are several worlds before, and she has been in the entertainment industry. Su Qingni walked on the red carpet confidently and freely without any discomfort, but White, who was worried that she had not walked on the red carpet, breathed a sigh of relief and confirmed again that Su Qingni was born to be suitable for the entertainment industry. Hello, Miss Su, I am the Foreign Affairs Manager of CC Economic Company, and my name is Su Qingni. A man walked up to Su Qingni and talked to her enthusiastically. Hello, Mr. Qingni. Su Qingni stretched out her right hand to shake hands with Su Qingni. Su Qingni lowered his head and kissed the back of Su Qingni's hand, very gentlemanly. Is Mr. Qingni French or British? Su Qingni took back her hand and asked. The men of these two countries are one romantic and the other gentleman. The CIA may do such a thing. No, I'm a Native American. Su Qingni replied. American men are also very romantic and gentlemanly. Su Qingni smiled and nodded. I saw it. Su Qingni smiled very charmingly, and he himself was also a charming man. Miss Su, can I talk to you? Su Qingni, aren't we talking now? Su Qingni laughed and said, I said the wrong thing. Miss Su, what do you think of CC Company? Su Qingni is no longer a rookie in the entertainment industry. Since she decided to make a movie, she has found a lot of information to understand the entertainment industry in this world. Su Qingni naturally knows about CC Company. Chapter 421 Starlight 10. CC is one of the three major entertainment agencies in Hollywood. It has a large number of superstars in the film, television, music and sports industries. It can be said to be the most powerful agency in Hollywood. It is more dynamic than the other two entertainment agencies. Very good. Su Qingni replied, in the next 10 years, CC Company may suppress the other two economic companies and occupy half of Hollywood. Su Qingni was very happy to hear Su Qingni's affirmation of CC Company, and said with a smile, Ms. Su is so optimistic about CC Company, do you want to join the big family of CC Company? Su Qingni said, Mr. Qingni should know that I already have an agent. Su Qingni nodded, yes, I know, and I also know that your agent, Mr. Sean White, is a free agent. Although he is capable, his connections are completely incomparable to an entire company. Su Qingni, but I have already signed a contract with White, and I have not thought about breaking the contract. Su Qingni smiled unchanged, as if he had already estimated Su Qingni's answer, and said, how about letting Mr. White join CC Company as well? Mr. White will still be your agent, and CC Company will assign you another assistant. Su Qingni smiled and said, this proposal sounds good, but just what? Su Qingni asked hurriedly. Su Qingni said, Mr. Qingni, you don't know what kind of economic contract I signed with White? I'll tell you in detail. Then she told Su Qingni the content of the economic contract. Su Qingni. Is Sean White a fool? He actually signed such a loose contract with an artist. Can he still make money? According to the provisions of the contract, if Su Qingni doesn't want to take a job, the agent cannot force her. If Su Qingni doesn't take a job for a year, then Sean White will have no source of income for a year. What will he eat and drink? Will he have money to pay the mortgage? If Sean White were here, he would tell Su Qingni, Su Qingni is a person who is not short of money and doesn't care about the money she earns from work. After she gets the work salary, she will keep a small part and give most of it to Sean White as a red envelope. Therefore, Sean White will not be so poor that he has to eat dirt. Therefore, Sean White will not arrange work for Su Qingni at will, but will only find her a job that has a future and will not ruin her image. Su Qingni smiled and said to Su Qingni, if CC can accept this contract, White and I will be happy to join CC. CC retreated, and Su Qingni walked to Morse. Morse smiled and said, did you refuse CC's recruitment? Su Qingni smiled and said, if CC was really good, you would not have introduced me to White, but directly to CC's people. Morse patted Su Qingni on the shoulder and said, CC is a deep place, not suitable for you. Su Qingni responded. She felt that she was not compatible with CC. By the way, my old friend Steven wants you to star in his movie, Let Me Be Your Lobbyist. Morse smiled, he is about to shoot an adventure fantasy movie, it sounds interesting, you can try it. Is it Stephen Lynch who is the director? Su Qingni asked. Yes, it's this old guy. Stephen Lynch is a famous director who is no less famous than Morse. He is best at shooting action movies, so it's not surprising that he wants to find Su Qingni to act. Because Su Qingni's skills are high enough. Director Lynch's movies are good. I've seen them all. Su Qingni said, I'm honored to be able to star in his movie. Then I'll give you the old guy's phone number. Call him after the celebration party. Director Lynch didn't come to the celebration party. He was in Egypt to survey the filming environment and didn't come back. Egypt. Yes, his new movie will be filmed in Egypt. Moore smiled, you will play the role of an Egyptian queen. Su Qingni blinked, Egyptian queen? The queen of ancient Egypt? Sounds interesting. The celebration party ended perfectly, and Su Qingni was taken home by White. On the way, Su Qingni told White about Bruce Connie's recruitment of her and Stephen Lynch's desire for her to star in his movie. When White heard that Lynch wanted Su Qingni to act, he smiled. I heard that director Lynch was recruiting for his new movie, and I wanted to get an audition spot through my connections, but I didn't expect you to get the role yourself. Su Qingni said, I haven't got it yet. I haven't even contacted director Lynch yet. You will definitely get it. White smiled, since Lynch asked Morse to invite you, it means he is optimistic about you and is sure that you will play a certain role. Contact Lynch as soon as you get home. Su Qingni agreed. Seeing that White avoided talking about CC Company's affairs, she asked directly, what do you think about CC Company's recruitment? White stared at the road ahead, and after a long time he said, Nora, do you know? I used to work in CC Company. Su Qingni was surprised. CC Company's treatment is very good. Why did you leave? White sighed and said, because I know something. Don't ask what it is, you'd better not know that kind of thing. Su Qingni blinked and asked, do people in CC Company know that you know something? White shook his head, I am very cautious and didn't let other people know. Otherwise, I would not be able to leave CC Company. Then you told me this matter, aren't you afraid that I will leak it out? Su Qingni asked. White smiled, I believe you won't. Although I haven't worked with you for a long time, I have some preliminary understanding of you. You are not afraid of trouble, but you are afraid of trouble. You are more protective of the people around you, so you won't betray me. Su Qingni also smiled, just based on what you said, I will always protect you. Thank you. You're welcome, we are partners. Director Lin Ke was very happy to receive Su Qingni's call. He didn't even need Su Qingni to audition and decided to let her star in his movie. She is not a heroine, but she has a lot of scenes. She can be regarded as a boss-level character. Lynch later emailed the script to Su Qingni. Su Qingni printed out a copy, poured a glass of red wine, leaned back on the sofa, put her feet on the sofa, curled up, and posed in the most comfortable posture, drinking and reading the script. This is indeed a wonderful story. After reading it, Su Qingni wanted to reward the screenwriter with some gold coins. Chapter 422 Starlight 11. The story tells about a rich lady who likes adventure and finds a treasure map handed down from her ancestors at home, and then organizes an expedition team to Egypt to find the treasure. The male protagonist is the captain of the expedition team, a handsome guy, and the female protagonist is the rich lady. Along the way, the two people gradually developed from bickering enemies to lovers. They found the treasure, but the treasure was the tomb of an ancient Egyptian queen. They disturbed the queen's rest and were cursed by the queen. The heroine resurrected from the darkness and began to hunt these people. Even if these people escaped from Egypt, the queen did not give up hunting them down, and even followed them to the United States. The beautiful queen walked on the bustling streets of Manhattan in traditional ancient Egyptian costumes, becoming a scene that attracted many people to stop and admire. However, the queen's beautiful appearance was full of violence and danger, and the whole Manhattan was almost overturned by the queen. The protagonist team had to appear to confront the queen, but they and the police were not the queen's opponents. It was still the heroine who found an ancient Egyptian antique in her collection, which was a staff that could restrain the queen. They finally defeated the queen with the staff. The script shows that this is the plot of the first part. Lynch has a second part in the script. In the second part, the hero and heroine will be taken back to ancient Egypt thousands of years ago by the staff and meet the living Egyptian queen. They chose the queen's hostile forces and went to war with the queen. They defeated the queen's army with modern war wisdom. Su Qingni is going to play this queen, powerful and beautiful. Su Qingni likes this queen very much, but she doesn't like the ending of Hollywood's consistent protagonist winning everything. The heroine and the hero went to dig up someone's tomb and woke him up. It was the hero and hero's fault. What's wrong with them wanting revenge? The queen killed those innocent people and their lives should be counted on the hero and hero. It was they who released the queen and implicated all the innocent people. As a result, as thieves, they killed the original owner of the house and became heroes who saved everyone. Why are they so shameless? I complained in my heart, but Su Qingni had to admit that this is a more exciting movie. Many of the plots in it are very bright. Half a month later, Su Qingni bought a plane ticket and was accompanied by White to Cairo, Egypt. In other words, Su Qingni had traveled to Egypt. Although the world was different, the Egypt in this world was roughly the same as the Egypt in other worlds. Su Qingni had long been tired of playing and had no fun in playing. However, White came to Egypt for the first time and found it very interesting. He signed up for a tour group and followed the tour group to visit the pyramids without Su Qingni. Su Qingni gave him her blessing, hoping that he would not encounter the curse of the pharaoh in the pyramids. Lynch was older than Morse, but he looked younger than Morse. His appearance was well-groomed, his beard was shaved clean, his clothes were neat, and his temperament was elegant. He was not like his nickname, the tyrant on the set. Lynch warmly welcomed Su Qingni's arrival. He had been worrying about the actor for the role of the queen. There are many beautiful actresses in Hollywood, but there are not many actresses who are flexible and powerful. Lynch didn't want to just find a vase to make do. He was troubled for a long time until he saw Su Qingni in his friend's movie. The actors in this crew are different from those in digital world. Morse likes to use big-name stars to star in his movies. But Lynch is just the opposite of Morse. He doesn't like to use big stars, but prefers to use actors with good acting skills that fit the character image, and then all the money saved from hiring actors is used for post-production. Morse also attaches great importance to post-production, so his movies are very expensive. He is a famous Hollywood director who burns money. If not every one of his movies can make a lot of money, no one would be willing to invest in his movies. The actors in the crew are not very famous. In the case of uncertainty about whether others will become rich in the future, they are careful not to offend others, but they are also inevitably scheming. Someone calculated Su Qingni's head, and Su Qingni fought back fiercely. Others saw that Su Qingni was not easy to mess with, so they didn't mess with her again. Su Qingni saw the heroine go to Lynch's room at night, and knew that the reason why the heroine was able to become the heroine was partly because she slept with the director. Lynch is not a gentleman. If a woman takes the initiative to devote herself, he will not refuse. And this woman happened to have good acting skills and was beautiful, which fit the image of the heroine. He didn't mind the unspoken rules. However, Lynch was not married, but the heroine already had a husband. Her husband was also in the crew, and he got the opportunity to participate in this performance by selling his body. This one was not a good person either, and secretly hooked up with another actress in the crew. Su Qingni was amazed by the chaotic relationships between men and women of these people. She was thinking, if the relationships of these people were all exposed at once, and the four of them got together, how would they react? There shouldn't be much reaction, right? Su Qingni didn't believe that the husband of the heroine didn't know about his wife and the director, otherwise how could he join the crew? The only uncertainty was whether the heroine knew about her husband's affair with another woman. It was unknown whether the other people in the crew had discovered the relationship between the four people. Anyway, when the filming of the movie was about to be completed, the four people did not capsize. Nora, listen to how this song is sung. Lynch waved and called Su Qingni to his side, giving her a small CD player and headphones. Su Qingni put the headphones in her ears, Lynch helped her choose a song, and pressed the play button. This is a rock-style song with a bit of desolation. The song is sung by two girls, one with a gentle voice and the other with a strong voice. The combination of the two does not seem contradictory, but has a different charm. The lyrics are also very good, and it feels very suitable for this movie, or more precisely, for the role of the queen. Do you want to use this song as a movie interlude? Su Qingni said to Lin Qi after listening. Lin Qi smiled and nodded, not just an interlude, I want this song to be the ending song of our movie. What do you think? The song is good. Su Qingni said, you are the director, how to arrange it is up to you. Then it's decided, use this song as the ending song of the movie. Lin Qi slapped his thigh and finalized it. Su Qingni returned the CD player to Lin Qi and asked, Director, what is the name of this song? Who is the singer? I will buy a CD to listen to after work. Chapter 423 Starlight 12. Lin Qi introduced Su Qingni enthusiastically, These are two new artists discovered by CC Company, named Xingchen Group. This song is called Control, which is the title song of their new album. The name of the album is also called Control. Su Qingni wrote down the name and called White, who had returned to the United States, asking White to buy a record for her. The records of this new group of people should not be able to be sold in Egypt. They are only sold in the United States. If the performance is really good, the distribution company will sell them abroad. The main sales places are also European countries, and Egypt is rarely visited. Anyway, there is less than a week left before the filming is finished. If you want to listen to the songs, go back to the United States. A week later, Su Qingni returned to China. White came to pick her up and gave her a gift, a pair of fashionable and beautiful sunglasses. White said, "Su Qingni is now a rising star in Hollywood. People can recognize her when she walks on the street. It is better to wear sunglasses to cover it up to avoid trouble." Su Qingni readily followed his advice. Although she has a lot of internal energy now, she can use the method of the mirror of love for flowers to change her appearance with internal energy. If she wants to go out and have fun, she can use this trick, but isn't there someone else around her now? It's better not to shock the world. The record you want. When he got home, White took out a record from his briefcase and handed it to Su Qingni. Su Qingni took the record and saw that it was beautifully packaged. The cover showed the backs of two women. They were wearing tight clothes, revealing their tall and hot figures. Even if they didn't look at their faces, but only looked at their figures, many men would be attracted and buy this record. The figures of these two people look so familiar. Opening the record box, there was a record and a stacked poster inside. Taking out the poster and unfolding it, it showed the front of the two main players. As expected, they were two beautiful women, and they were indeed faces that Su Qingni knew. Sharon and Qiaozai. These two actually entered the entertainment industry? Exclamation mark. These two actually went to sing and become singers? Could they be influenced by me? Su Qingni couldn't help but touch her face. Is she so charming? Probably not, right? It seems that it was just a coincidence. Or maybe the two of them had the idea of becoming singers. Speaking of which, the two of them sing really well, and they sound very nice. Maybe they can win a Grammy Award. Put the record into the CD player and listen to the sound coming out of it. From the sound, you can feel the joy of the singers. They like singing very much and like this kind of life. Su Qingni sat on the recliner in front of the French window, letting the golden sunlight fall on her body, listening to the songs sung by her former companions, and felt that the years were quiet and good. After the release of The Queen's Treasure, Su Qingni's reputation and attention have once again increased significantly, and more movies have invited her to participate in performances. White selected them and asked for Su Qingni's opinion. Finally, he chose a second female role for her that could be called the drama of the year. This annual drama is a movie adapted from a fantasy novel. Su Qingni plays the second female role, a princess of the human kingdom. She is not the kind of princess who is protected, but a princess who is stronger than the night. She follows the protagonist on adventures, fights the devil, and protects humans. The movie has a grand scene and many characters. Only by working hard to perform well can you stand out, otherwise you can only be lost among the characters with good acting skills. Making such a movie is a challenge and training for both the protagonist and the supporting roles. If the leading actor's acting skills are not as good as the supporting role, he will become a foil for the supporting role. This movie is star-studded and a feast for acting stars. These many stars are clients of CC Company, and this movie is invested by CC Company. CC Company has developed rapidly in recent years. It has not only engaged in the business of agents, but also developed the investment business. It even makes its own movies and records. It is now planning its own theaters. CC Company's ambition is obvious, and many old-fashioned film production companies in the entertainment industry are very afraid of CC Company. But it seems that CC Company has a very strong background, and other companies dare not confront CC Company head-on. Before Su Qingni entered the crew, two unexpected people approached Su Qingni. "I thought you wouldn't want to have anything to do with me." Su Qingni poured twice the amount of freshly squeezed juice to Sharon and Qiaozai. "We don't want to either, but our strength is not strong enough, so we need your help." Sharon did not hide anything and directly stated their purpose. "You have contact with the FBI, right? This matter requires the FBI to intervene." "What's the matter?" Su Qingni sat opposite the two and asked curiously. She became interested in the reason why the two people came to her. Do you know CC Company? Sharon asked. Su Qingni nodded. The music company you are currently in is a subsidiary of CC Company. Why, did you find that there was a problem with CC Company? Sharon asked in surprise. Did you know that there was a problem with CC Company? Su Qingni shook her head. I didn't know. It's just that my agent used to be an employee of CC Company. He left CC Company and didn't want me to join CC Company. So I don't have a very good impression of CC Company. Your agent is doing this for your own good. Sharon said, you were right not to join CC Company. Now Qiaozai and I regret joining CC Company. What happened? Su Qingni asked. Sharon sighed. CC Company wants to control us and become their tool to make money, and secretly added drugs to the food we eat. They thought you were tricked, so they didn't monitor you strictly. Su Qingni said. Sharon nodded. We still have to play tricks on them. Qiaozai pouted and said, if we were not afraid of trouble, we would have directly killed those who plotted against us. Su Qingni smiled and said, wouldn't it mean we have to kill a lot of people? From your agent to the top executives of the music company, as well as the assistants and related personnel who know the situation. Since CC Company uses this method to control its artists and employees, there must be more people who know about it. How many people are you going to kill? Kill everyone in CC Company. Sharon said, of course not, so we came to you and want to ask for your help to investigate the activities of CC Company and attract the FBI to investigate. Su Qingni said, as far as I know, CC Company has a very powerful background, and the United States is in power with capital. Chapter 424 Starlight 13. Sharon stared at Su Qingni. We believe in your ability. Just look at how you wiped out the assassin organization, and you know that you have great means. Sharon begged, Nora, please help us this time because we have suffered together. Su Qingni smiled and leaned back on the sofa. I can help you this time, but it's a promise. This is the last time. I am not obliged to help you all the time. The two girls nodded vigorously. If it weren't for the fact that this time it was too involved and they were afraid of being found by the police, they would not ask Su Qingni for help. The most effective way for assassins is always to kill people. Su Qingni held the cup and asked the two casually while drinking juice, have you ever thought that CC Company is related to the assassin organization? What? The two were surprised. Su Qingni said, according to the information I got from the FBI, the assassin organization is only a small part of a certain organization. When the FBI dealt with the assassin organization, the organization cut off its tail to survive, and the assassin organization became an abandoned waste, so it was easily destroyed. And that organization? The FBI has no clues at all now. Then why do you suspect that CC Company is that organization? Qiaozai asked. Sixth sense. Su Qingni said, I felt uncomfortable when I first heard the name of CC Company. The two girls did not laugh at Su Qingni. They also believed in the sixth sense. The killer's sixth sense is very useful to them and can help them avoid many dangers. What do you want us to do? Sharon asked. Su Qingni said, with your ability, you can install a bug inside CC Company without being discovered. Sharon nodded, we understand. After sending the two girls out of the house, Su Qingni took out a laptop she had organized. The United States is ahead of other countries in technology and the internet. When the internet in other countries was just starting, the internet here has already been widely used. Although not every household has installed the internet, at least many companies have installed the internet now, and ordinary people can apply for it themselves if they want to install it, and they have to pay a relatively expensive internet access fee every month. With the internet and a laptop she assembled herself, which is more advanced than today's computers, Su Qingni's hacking skills can finally come into play. She broke into the interior of CC Company and looked for relevant clues inside. However, the person in charge of CC Company was very cautious. The computers inside the company were all related to the entertainment industry, and there was nothing Su Qingni wanted to find. Su Qingni found the contact information of the senior executives of CC Company, investigated them one by one, and finally found the information she wanted, the channels for the general manager of CC Company to contact the behind-the-scenes organization, and the information they communicated. But this little information was not enough to attract the FBI's attention to CC Company. After all, CC Company's huge capital and connections made the US government dare not touch them easily. Moreover, Su Qingni's evidence of CC Company using drugs to control others was not enough, and this still depended on Sharon and Qiaozai. It would take time. It would take time to deal with Su Qingni, and Su Qingni still had work to do. She temporarily put aside her close watch on Su Qingni and joined the magic movie crew. This crew was really star-studded, and naturally conflicts emerged in an endless stream. Something would happen in the crew every day. Su Qingni was a lucky person who had no background in Hollywood but became famous overnight by starring in the movie of the great director Morse. Many people envied her, and many people were full of malice. Look, the crew went out to eat together, and Su Qingni found the ingredients of methamphetamine in her wine glass. This thing has a popular name, called iced tea. When the original owner, Sharon and Qiaozai were training on the island, there was a special class on distinguishing such things. Sharon and Qiaozai would not be fooled, so how could Su Qingni be fooled? Su Qingni exchanged the wine in her glass with the wine in the glass of the person who drugged her. The person who drugged her was also from Su Qingni. Su Qingni felt that in addition to the fact that this person had malicious intentions towards Su Qingni, Su Qingni might have also been behind the scenes. They must be optimistic about Su Qingni's future and did not want to let go of such a cash cow. Su Qingni's move angered Su Qingni, and she felt sorry for Sharon and Qiaozai. The two installed a lot of eavesdropping devices inside Su Qingni and recorded a lot of information over a period of time. There was really a lot of information that could be used as evidence of Su Qingni's crimes. They packaged all the information they got from the general manager of Su Qingni and the audio material sent by Sharon and Qiaozai to the FBI. Su Qingni, Sharon and Qiaozai did nothing and just sat and watched the show. It would be a mistake to do anything at this time, which would attract the attention of both the black and white parties. The information sent this time was very conclusive, which attracted the attention of the FBI, and they began to secretly investigate Su Qingni. The FBI's investigation channels were much more extensive than Su Qingni's. Su Qingni gave them a clue, and they were able to follow it to pull out a large network and investigate along the veins on the internet. Su Qingni had been secretly watching the FBI's movements. Sometimes the FBI had an investigation direction, but could not continue the investigation for various reasons. Su Qingni would help them to investigate and then send the evidence to the FBI. All the members of the FBI knew that there was such a good person who had been secretly helping them find evidence of the criminals and helping them to fight criminals. Su Qingni grinned. Good person? Exclamation mark. When the magic movie was released and became the annual box office champion of the year, Su Qingni was closed down by the FBI and the entire company's senior executives, and many of the company's stars were all invited to have tea. Some stars were able to come out without any problems, but others would have to drink tea for many years. This incident shocked the entire entertainment industry in the United States, and Su Qingni's resources were quickly divided up by other companies. Sharon and Josie took the opportunity to terminate their contract with Su Qingni and opened their own studio. Su Qingni introduced Shaun White to the two of them, mainly because Su Qingni was too lazy and didn't want to take on too many jobs. Even if she paid all the work to White, it was not enough for White to support a successful agent's decent life and social life. Therefore, White needed other work income. White was very capable and could handle both the music and entertainment circles with ease. The magic movie won Su Qingni the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. 2 years later, she became an Oscar winner with an art film and reached the top of the entertainment industry. In the same year, the two sisters Sharon and Josie won the Grammy Award. They are all White's artists, which made White the top agent in Hollywood, and many people scrambled to join him. White simply merged Su Qingni and Sharon Josie into the same studio, and he named the studio Starlight. Chapter 425, Jiang Hu won. Su Qingni felt terrible after being possessed. The original body was dead, and there was a knife wound on her chest. Although it did not hurt the internal organs, the wound was still very deep. The original owner died of excessive blood loss. Although Su Qingni was possessed, the symptoms of excessive blood loss did not disappear. Although the wound did not bleed anymore, it still needed to be treated, which was very troublesome. Although this world is a martial arts world, the Heavenly Way still has great restrictions on Su Qingni. She can only practice martial arts and cannot practice other non-martial arts skills, nor can she smuggle the storage bag into this world. Naturally, there are no pills with various functions made by the little witches to help Su Qingni solve the current crisis. Fortunately, although the original body's family was wiped out, Those evil people only killed people and did not set fire to the house. The original body's family was a wealthy family with a reserve of medicinal materials at home. Su Qingni found the warehouse where the medicinal materials were stored according to the original body's memory, found the necessary medicinal materials from it, and made blood tonic and healing medicines. After taking the medicine and bandaging the wound, her life was finally saved. Su Qingni exhaled and collapsed to the ground. This is a martial arts world, a world dominated by the rivers and lakes, which is very similar to the rivers and lakes described by Gujuju. The people of the rivers and lakes are wanton, and the imperial court is weak and has almost no sense of existence. The original body is 24 years old this year, but she is already the mother of 2 children. Her husband's family has some power in the rivers and lakes, but it is only a 3rd or 4th-rate power. The most powerful martial artist in the family is the original body's father-in-law, who is only a 2nd-rate martial artist in the rivers and lakes. Although the original body's father-in-law's martial arts are not very high, his emotional intelligence is high. He is like a fish in water in the rivers and lakes and has made many connections. The original body's father-in-law rarely offends people, and therefore, the original body has no idea why his family was wiped out. Obviously, his family has no enemies, no hidden treasures, or suddenly got some top martial arts secrets, so how could it be suddenly wiped out? What's the reason? Alice, since I have used the body of the original body, I have to help the original body solve the puzzles, help the original body investigate the truth of the extermination, help the original body to avenge, and help the original body take care of her 2 children. A child. Su Qingni sat up suddenly from the ground. She almost forgot that the original body's youngest son was hidden by the original body. After so long, has he been suffocated? Su Qingni hurriedly got up and walked towards the original body's bedroom, holding on to the wall. The original body had not practiced martial arts and was weak. Su Qingni took medicine, but her body did not recover much. She struggled to control her body and did not fall down. Finally, she came to the original owner's bedroom. As soon as she entered the door, she heard the slight cry of a baby. Su Qingni breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the child was fine and still alive. When the villain attacked the original body's house, the original body's youngest son was sleeping. The original body immediately hid the youngest son in the small compartment under the bedboard of her own bed. She was gambling. If she did not hide the youngest son in the secret compartment, the youngest son would definitely die, but if she hid him, the youngest son would still have a chance of survival. Of course, if no one discovered that the youngest son was hidden in the secret compartment, and no one took the youngest son out of the secret compartment, the child would eventually starve to death in the secret compartment. Su Qingni pulled aside the mat and opened the secret compartment. The child's crying immediately became louder, and some even cried out loudly. Su Qingni quickly took the child out of the secret compartment and coaxed the child gently. The child was still crying so hard that his face was red, and there was no pity at all. Su Qingni still had experience in raising babies. Not to mention that she had traveled through so many worlds, even before she traveled through time. When she was in an orphanage, she often took care of her younger brothers and sisters and little babies. Su Qingni checked the child's diaper and found that it was indeed wet, so she quickly changed the child into a clean diaper. The child cried a little less, but he was still crying. Su Qingni touched the child's stomach. Well, he was hungry. Fortunately, there was water, sugar, fruit and a small red clay heater in the room. Su Qingni used a small red clay stove to boil hot water, mashed the fruit and put it in a bowl, added some sugar, poured hot water, stirred it well, and began to feed the child. Just doing these things made Su Qingni sweat profusely. If there were no such things in the house, Su Qingni would have to go to the kitchen, and she would probably collapse from exhaustion before reaching the kitchen. The child was so hungry that he ate very sweetly. After eating, the child yawned a little and fell asleep again. Su Qingni put the child on the bed. No one had been lying on the bed before, so it was very clean and there was no blood on it. Su Qingni put the child on the bed, lay on it herself, and fell into deep sleep. For her current condition, sleep is the best way to heal. As for practicing martial arts, let's talk about it after the injury is healed. As for the eldest daughter of the original body, before the villain broke in, her eldest daughter went out to play with the younger brother-in-law of the original body. They went to play at the uncle's house in Linzhen. The distance was still a bit far. The evil people should not go to Linzhen to kill people, so the two should be safe. Well, except for the eldest daughter and the brother-in-law, The original body's husband and sister-in-law were not at home. So, the 3 children of the original body's father-in-law escaped, and only the original body's parents-in-law in the original body, as well as a group of innocent servants, died. Su Qingni sighed in her heart. For those innocent servants. In this world, the most pitiful are ordinary people without force. They have no ability to protect themselves and can only become cannon fodder for the fights between people in the rivers and lakes. Let them rest in peace tomorrow. Thinking of this, Su Qingni couldn't support it and fell into deep sleep. The next day, Su Qingni was awakened by the crying of the child. The child urinated and was hungry. Su Qingni quickly changed the child's diaper, fed him food, fed the child, and then put the child on the bed, blocked the bedside with bedding, and put toys such as rattles and cloth tigers on the bed for the child to play by himself. Su Qingni picked up a shovel and dug the ground to bury the dead. She didn't dare to go out to ask nearby people for help. Who knew why those evil people wanted to kill the original body's entire family? What if other innocent people were implicated? Moreover, she didn't dare let people know that she was still alive. What if those evil people knew that she was still alive and came to kill her and her children to wipe out the roots? She had no force yet, so she was no match for a bunch of evil people. The medicine that Su Qingni prepared herself was very effective. After one night, her injuries healed a lot, the symptoms of blood loss were relieved a little, and her hands had a little strength. But digging the ground was too strenuous and hard work. Su Qingni spent a whole morning and only dug a shallow pit that could only bury one person. She now desperately hopes that her original husband, sister-in-law and brother-in-law can come back. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.